works. Oh my goodness. Oh, you knew how much better I felt just by those two little. Y'all don't understand. I wish that I could have you. I do this so that you can try to understand, so that you can know that there's a whole.
Black, y'all.
Okay, so I'm JP, your spiritual DJ, and then I'm OG Patrice. Don't count us out. Don't put us down. For fuck's sake, I'm not inspirational. Citizens, how's your spirit? Mine, well, apparently a little bit crummy. I'm doing fantastic, you guys. Hey, Truth is Never Favored. You're a new name in the chat. So glad to see you. How's your spirit? Do you have a theme song? What in the world has got you up this late? I don't care where you are. Right now, it's late early, right? So, what are you doing? Why are you up? Tell me about it. Me, I've got insomnia and, excuse me, my fella's working. And so if he's working, I'm certainly going to dedicate some of my time to working. So while you guys are pulling up, you know the deal. Please make sure that you go ahead and hit that like, hit that subscribe, you hit the bell so that you get all of the notifications of what I put out. Not just what YouTube thinks that you might like, because why? Well, I put out some awesome stuff from time to time. I even make sure to cut up some of these things and put them out too. Also, after you're done with that, make sure you share with your communities. What does that mean? Make sure that if you hit share from here, share with the people who are on your other social media platforms, please. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Where else am I? Facebook. Oh my God, you guys. How could I forget Facebook of all the places, right? Like I have a whole Facebook group and we have conversations. I've been a little bit quiet after last night's conversation. I needed to have a woosah moment, smoke me a little something. And y'all know I'm going to have to get into the whole medicated conversation here in a minute. But I'm late, so I need to go ahead and get the green ground first. And I think that what I'm going to do is while I wait for more of you all to come in and tell me what's going on with you, I am going to go ahead and play this video. This gentleman's name is Combat the Ignorance. And I'm going to do this right now. So I think this is going to have to be how I go forward. Peace and light, young fella. Using your content tonight for a live stream on this channel name. Please feel free to pull up. And let me get him the link real quick, you guys. No, I won't do that because that would be a little bit disrespectful. Yeah, we'll do it like that. So anyway, his name is Combat the Ignorance. And he's got a video talking about at Kevin Samuels and the Red Pill Movement and gender separation agenda. Yo, I'm telling y'all, I've been talking about an agenda out here. And well, I'm going to ask any content creator to let me use their information if that's what they're helping me to get along, right? So I'm going to put this for you guys and focus on grinding for a minute, and then we'll come back. We'll do theme songs, and we'll have a medicated minute. In the meantime, make sure that you get some folks in here for me, please. Also, we're doing a deeper dive tonight into cannabis, talking about your endocannabinoid system, and why it can help your heathen like ways. Excuse me, guys. Tongue's not working. Make sure you share right now, you guys. Right now. Shout out to Melissa.
What's going on, YouTube? So in this video, I want to talk about how the Red Pill movement, the Manosphere movement, and all these big YouTubers that indulge in that realm are all playing a part of this agenda to divide the genders. That's all it's ever been about. That's the reason they're being promoted. You got to understand, guys, negativity gets rewarded on YouTube. If you're a negative entity, let me not 80% of content, if it's negative, you get rewarded or you listen to the algorithm. Now, you guys feel like this red pill movement, this type of information helped you become a better man. It helped you understand women, female nature. It helped you get on your purpose. It helped you focus on your life and try to gain more financial stability. But you guys got to understand there's a bigger picture because a lot of this information, a lot of the content they create, it puts women in a negative light and it builds up resentment that men already may have for females. You guys,
It builds up a resentment that men may already have for females that I talked about before. Or I probably, if I was going to say that I do one thing wrong as a content creator, that's one of my weaknesses. I don't do enough to say what it is, how women are being affected. It's just, I know that there are a lot of women already in that space saying that thing. And I don't speak from, I don't know. Anyways, I really don't want our people to speak as victims. I don't want us out here sharing all of our emotional ill ill health with the rest of the world. I share it in a different way. These are the things that are happening to all of us. Listen to me. Look at Corey Bush. This is where we need to be. But this young man is telling you that there's something else going on here, and I'm going to finish grinding up this modified punch, and then we will get back into me discussing what's going on in these YouTube streets. Here we go.
one thing about human nature, people don't react properly to negative reinforcement. You can't change somebody with negative reinforcement. It's not going to happen. The only thing you're going to do is make more of an enemy of that person. Trust me, I know, I've been there. You can't tell a bum on the street, yo, you're a bum, you're wasting your life, you need to get better, and expect him to say, you know what, you're right. He's going to tell you, go fuck yourself. Probably spit on you. If you want change in people, you got to identify the truth, the issue, but in a respectful, non-abusive, non-judgmental manner, which these dudes clearly aren't doing. So the only thing that's going to cause is spite amongst women who may come across this content and cause further division. So when you have men hating women, women hating men, it becomes more of a chess. It becomes more mental chess, opposed to two genders naturally meeting and trying to grow and build. You think guys are the only one watching this information you guys spew? You don't think women are watching this information and taking in what you guys are saying and trying to adjust accordingly to counteract what you're saying? You got to be a fool if you don't believe that. So,
okay. I think that the young gentleman got my point across pretty well. Once again, in case I neglected to say so, or in case you missed it, his name is Combat the Ignorance. What does he say? Help me fight the algorithm. Like, share, subscribe. So, guys, if you haven't done so already, please make sure that you do. I will share, but if I do it right now, it will mess up the internet signal. But I guarantee you that I will make sure that I do so. Oops, that wasn't what I meant to do. Need to get out of there. How about this for now? I'm stuck. Told you if I do something else. Arizona, Arizona, Arizona. Cox cable is just gross, you guys. So let's just take that down really quick. And then let's see what's causing me trauma right now. Nothing that I can find there. Nothing that I can find there. And nothing that I can find there. All right, you guys. So let's see. Do we have any theme songs? Anybody have a theme song for me tonight? I forgot to say that I was going live over on Instagram. So, anywho, there's that, you guys. And it's late. It's what? 1 o'clock in the morning out on the East Coast. So, is anybody really up? Is anybody really up listening to your mom tell you about, let's just be honest, what it was like way back when? Okay. So, I'm just gonna actually, I think I may just get into it for the heck of it because I'm not worried about that part. So, mm, when I got married, he told me that he was into the Nation of Islam, 5%, that sort of thing. Cool beans, no problem. Now, I am a Libra, true at heart. I'm a people pleaser, that sort of thing. And so I did, follow suit. But I studied the religion, I researched and did those things, and come to find out, it just really wasn't. It was great for me. I lived that life. I lived a very disciplined life for a very long time. I believe that the military lifestyle was a little bit more difficult for my partner, and they turned to hedonism, which is the actual term. And I was like, all right, that's what you're gonna do, and we can't seem to come to some understanding, then I'm gonna join you too. And so I did. And over an 8-year period, did a lot of stuff. But I don't know. I want to talk about it, but I really want to make sure that I talk about your endocannabinoid system too. So I want to make sure we get into it. Reason why is because your endocannabinoid system will balance out some of this um, behavior that's not great for your spirit. How about that, right? But maybe not. I just feel like we need to have better conversations. If we're going to talk about having been out there doing all of the dirt and the nonsense, I'll tell you about it. But when I tell you about it, let me go ahead and make sure I tell you the whole truth, right? All of the story, what I did, how it went, that kind of thing. So, let's see. Do I have a theme song? I do. I am going to do the theme song after we talk about whoops, after we talk about tonight's cannabis. All right. So tonight's medicated moment is brought to you by the lovely strain of modified punch. What is modified punch? Ta-da! Can you see it? Really pretty strain. I gotta use my other camera, you guys, but it can only do 30 minutes, which on a Saturday night. And I'm not going to be overly salacious with the sex talk. It's possible that I should probably just do 30 minutes. But anyway, it's got a really fruit punch smell to it. It's nice and light in color, so it's definitely something that's going to make you feel a little bit happier on the inside. And then I put it in the beast because I'm also celebrating my little 200 subscribers. Oh, that reminds me, I should say that. I'm sorry, you guys. Wow, that was disrespectful. Hey, fellas, how's your spirit? Look, it's the dojo of manhood and Big Rig Slap. So glad to see you. I don't know why I say little. It's way down in there, that thing. I apologize for that. Each one of you citizens means more to me than something than how flippantly that was said, and I apologize for that. But I would like to do this. I am going to say 200 sub. You know what? The last time that I had to lock up a video was my 100 sub celebration. So for 200 subs, why don't we have to lock this one up too? What do you think? All right. Anyway, I'm updating the. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. Okay, so I'm not gonna worry about it. We'll do it later. I'll do it after the fact. Hey, Ania, so glad to see you. Thank you for coming through. Let's see who else. Oh, I said hello. Okay, so you guys leave me a theme song real quick, and I'm gonna play the video just so you can do it. You guys know the deal. Make sure you drop in and get a hit the like, share, subscribe thingy going. I'm bad at it, you guys, but I'm gonna work on it, and then we're gonna talk about the smoke that I'm gonna do, and then we're gonna get into the conversation. Big Rig says that his theme song is Midas Touch. I bet you do have that Midas Touch. We'll talk about it later. I loved that song when I was a kid, right? It was something about it. Hey, JT Coin Rings. Listen, y'all, I need you to explain it to me. What are all y'all doing up this time of night? There aren't that many of you out west that rock with me yet. Y'all haven't been up with me that long. So, what are y'all doing up? Please tell me in the comments why you are up this time of night. And I'm going to go ahead and get started with Big Rig's theme song while you guys let me know what's going on. What's on your mind? My love. Oops, that's my theme song. My bad. That's your theme song. The touch. Touch. How's the sound, you guys? Drop a 5 in the chat for me, please. Touch. Big Rig tickles. Ha! I got a little petty spirit inside of me, y'all. I can't help it. Oh, snap. Don Frank is in here. Dojo say he's taking a my dollar. Thank you, Dojo. Thank you for coming in, Don. You're in Cali, Big Rig. Okay, so that's cool. I appreciate it. That's right. It is Big Rig Tickles. Hopefully my butterscotch bear will pull up later on. What up, Don? I'm so glad to see you, sis. I'm glad to be back live. Oh, we went over a minute, you guys. Okay. Also, I'm not streaming this one into YouTube because YouTube dinged me hard for the little baby video yesterday. Facebook, not YouTube of all places. Facebook deemed me hard for the little baby video. That kind of crazy, ain't it? I know. I felt some type of way, but we'll deal with it. Also, the video that I had with Netflix that got me a copyright block, I disputed it and they're taking it into consideration. We'll see what happens in a couple of days. Thank you guys so much for giving me a 5 in the chat. And then JT, you said you just had movie night. What'd you guys watch? Oh my God. Thank you so much, Don. It's so good to see you guys. I love being able to go in other chats and see you guys over there. It gives me hope just to see that there are Black folks in more positive spaces. I know we may sometimes meet in some of the more negative spaces on YouTube, but the fact that we can come together in some of the positive spaces and show love and not bring the toxicity with us is, I think, the most amazing thing. And I wish it's something that could be captured as easily in real time as a live stream is. But that's a work in progress. So anyway, we are going to have a conversation about your endocannabinoid system, your happiness, and being a heathen. Because I spent like 8 years as a swinger, y'all. Like, not like a little bit. What the funk? What's up? The change in title for this thing and the thumbnail, if I got it right. Did I put the right thumbnail up there? Anyway, is because I was watching some of the things that you suggested I watch over the last couple of days, and a couple of other people sent me some stuff. And woohoo, boy. Heathenism is on display in these YouTube streets. I am with you, Don Frank. I'm tired of going into negative spaces, positive vibes only. And that's the thing. We've got to start finding the positive ones and then sharing them with other people so that we can get this thing going in the right way. We are doing we're doing a great job now of getting on YouTube. I'll give the lead attorney credit for getting Black folks up and out and sharing their information. But at the same time, he's doing, I can't say that it's doing the best service to us. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's the only way that I can put that. I don't want to stop anybody from getting their bag. I think they could do a better job of it. That's all I'm really saying. So we were talking about, I want to say this. When I say, I don't want to be in toxic spaces or negative spaces. I started out on Twitter, y'all, and that's one emotional space. And so I was having a conversation, but I want you guys to know that I move the same in all spaces, in that I speak to what it is that I see. In this case, I was talking about the young trucker, and I don't want to get his name wrong, so I'm going to go to the Twitter that I used. Give me a second because we're going to freeze. Sorry, guys. All right. I cannot say his name. Rohel, excuse me, was sentenced to 110 years. 110 years for the accidental death, right? But I want you to know that what I do is I was in Twitter. He's not a black man, but I understand that this is not just about black people. I do understand that it's about all of us being oppressed by a system greater than us. White supremacy, capitalism doesn't just affect black folks. It affects us as one of the hardest communities, but not just us. And so I speak to the fact that all of these woke people in other spaces, all of these gatekeepers are talking bullshit to you. They're speaking what sounds fantastic to you, right? And then when it comes down to it, are they really about it? When they can't make money off of the name at the time, are they actually standing up for you? Because they're certainly not standing up for Rohel. Only the truckers are doing that. Only the truckers have pulled off to the side of the road and refused to do anything else. Because at 23 years old, giving this man 110 years is just outright BS. Make it make sense, y'all. Make it make sense to me. I'm sorry. I'm on back up. So anyway, while you're over there, make sure that you follow Third Coast Royalty. Miranda is tired. She just followed me, and while I'm thinking about it, let me make sure that I go and follow her. Ta-da! At the end of the day, all of our allies aren't going to look like us, but all of our conversations aren't for everybody. We need to understand allies. Um, I knew I was going to do this. Allies. Oh, I know there's a reason why. When the universe won't let you do something after the second time, stop. There's a reason. Take a break, take a pause, come back to it later on. I'm just telling you what I know to be what I know. All right. Dojo, get your Dojo, get your stuff, your Motrin, your ibuprofen, and then we'll have a conversation about buy me a coffee. Okay. I'm gonna stop clicking on screens, y'all, or we're gonna have a problem in a minute. Let me pull this down. All right. So I said what the funk said. I went from drama to father rights to cuffing season. Ooh, Jesus. You went from drama to father rights to cuffing season to bisexual hedonism. Peace and light, Darrell. How's your spirit, young fella? What the fuck you had? Listen, if I was watching, you was really watching. I enjoyed the conversation on knowledge and relationships. That was fun for me. So yeah. Okay, so we're gonna talk about I want theme songs. Y'all gonna make me fuss. I can get really pouty and do my angry bunny thing. Y'all don't want me to do that, do you? Don't make me do that. Somebody give me some more theme songs. In the meantime, I'll just go with my theme song because, well, I really freaking love it, you guys. And why my fella asked me the other day, and I can tell you the honest truth is because way back in 2017, I prayed for him and I didn't know it. No lie. No lie. I didn't put a whole lot of parameters on it. I was like, Lord, I deserve these things after the work that I've done in my life. Well, let me lie, not lie. Universe. The universe. This is, I've done this, this, and this. Here I am living in this pain. Da 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 da. And I wrote it out and I put it up and I spoke a mantra to myself every day about things that I needed to do to be a better person. And then I walked that life and I disciplined myself to walk that life. It included being peaceful, not beating up on other people, even when they struck at me. Being loyal, even when I couldn't understand why people would make the moves that they would make. Those things. Shout out to What the Funky was like. Him and Darrell had the same energy talking about I get around. Listen, when you are a content creator and you are trying to build a community, you are in these streets doing a thing. I will take that one and we will play that. Ah. Let me pull it back up here. Hey. It's so funny because I started. I think this is one of the first songs that I used in one of my live streams back in the beginning. You guys, it's crazy. Donnie, what's the matter? She said her theme song. Oh, today talk dirty to me. Ooh, it is Saturday night. And it's a little dirty to be talked around here. Yes, you've been around these YouTube streets, my brother. And though they sweater brother majorly, I don't know why you go keep paging me. Darrell explained it so well. Hold on. Darrell explained it so well when he was on with Lauren and Lucky and with Shannon Rawls, y'all, and he was doing that. He basically explained it the way that a pimp does, and I can't explain it that way. I mean, I love pimps and the pimping, and I'm telling you, when I read Iceberg Slim, I was ready to put on my hat and peacock my life away, bruh. You don't understand. You don't understand. You don't understand. But my parents got us out of Memphis and saved me from that life of crime. And here I am today. Uh, yes, look, he said, young people asking what is paging. This is why, they got some form of paging these days because we're getting right back into that type of life. Everything comes around. Everything comes around. Are we whether or not we're prepared to make the step up when it comes back around is really what life is about, I think. Don's theme song was Talk Dirty to Me. Oh, did he remake it, Don? Because now that I see the other songs up here, I wonder. I forgot that it was made by somebody else. Let's see. Here we go.
Jason. Jason Derulo.
Get jazzy on. I'm that flight that
Hey.
you get on.
All right, Don.
International. First class seat on my lap, girl. Riding comfortable. Cause I know what that girl them need. New York to Haiti. I got lipstick stamps on my passport. You make it hard to live. Been around the world, don't speak the language. But your booty don't need explaining.
Hey, OG Patrice! What are you doing up in these Arizona streams at 11:30, sis? My goodness, my goodness, my goodness.
Talk dirty to
Are
me.
you ready to talk hedonism, happiness, and herbs?
Talk dirty.
You guys, this one just might go in the vault. I'm trying to tell you, I was celebrating 200. We got to 200 citizens last night. Shout out to Knowledge and Relationships. Of course, I try to support them, and I keep having these. You guys, I swear, it is not me. It's just me. I love y'all to pieces. So, um, that is so weird. His name is Jason Don. Don, you've been watching them streams with what the funk? Don boyfriend, who by the way was Caucasian. That's another show for another day. Hey, when I make 500 subs, I'll tell you about the Caucasian men I had in my life. I didn't mean it that way. I will tell you about the men of other cultures that I've dated. We'll see how it goes. OG, amazing back and forth with Genius on Gail Live. I'm sorry I missed it. I missed Gail's stream. You guys, I be trying out here. It's hard to catch you all now that there's so many folks that I really enjoy. I want that man to link with. Okay. And then, oh, thank you so much, Ania. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It was so much fun last night. So much fun tonight. Okay. So, the medicated moment. Modified punch. Okay. Like I said, it's fruity, so it's going to make you giggly and kind of uplift you a little bit, but it does have some myrcene in it. So if you're dealing with some inflammation, some joint pain, really great for that. We're doing it. Why am I doing this in such a small frame, you guys? I do not know. I apologize. All right. So we're doing it in the Beast, which I have officially just dubbed it that today because this bad boy right here will, if y'all saw last night, it put me through my paces. As long as it's clean. Gail! Oh my God, 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 oh my God. Okay, listen. I'm so excited that Gail is finally making her move, y'all. I need to get through the medicated moment, and I really need to, we'll talk about the cannabis and the heathenism, but Gail, I'm just so freaking glad to see you doing your thing. You have no idea. if that many men rock with you in that many spaces, you got to be able to balance your message out enough to be able to get our people to start to listen. To listen. It's got to be a better way. Anyway. Thank you so much for being in the stream. I'm going to drop the link, and I really hope that you pull up. I know it's late, and if you hit me with some bonnet, scarf, hair, weave, whatever, I done seen them girls. Them curls, they be popping. You're not just going to tell me you can't. Anyway, I understand it is probably, it is almost midnight to 3 o'clock in the morning somewhere on this side of the world. That's what I'm saying. Hey, y'all, just stopping by on my way to, you can't go to bed. Fine. Okay, go to bed. I understand. You've been up late. And I will build this idea to have women of these YouTube space be the voice of Black men going through this. Oh, there you go. I think you're right on the money there, though. What the fuck's going to take men of a similar mindset to push out the other nonsense, as well as the other men who are carrying and messing their spaces. You did just say Gail's name in this chat. He's saying that he spoke you up, Gail. Gail's like, huh? Let me suss out here in these streets. Okay, so I'm sorry, you guys. Back to the medicated. You know what? I can't do nothing because I think y'all, I be losing so much stuff. And yet I don't ever go anywhere from where I am right now. Isn't that sad? I found my torch though, looking for something else. Ta-da! I'm ridiculous. Okay. So since Gail done already given the signs that she tired and whatnot, then I will get this prepared for for the endocannabinoid part of this chat. All right, we're gonna go through this, but anyway, like I said, modified punch. What I'm doing it for is an indica dominant. I am doing it for inflammation. I am using the big dude with the bowl. Listen, clean your glass. Use a screen. Do you guys use pipe screens in your bowls? If you're not, you're doing a disservice to yourself. Really, just take a piece of the screen, coffee screen. Who's laughing at me? Stop it. Are you Okay, so first of all, Ula, I don't think it's fair that you get to treat me this way, and never mind. And then I can't help it. The way that my autism is set up, I just really can't. I can't help the Tadar is. I try to hide it. I tried not to let it out. I do everything I can, and yet there it is. So since y'all gonna treat me bad, I might as well go ahead and take this hit and cough my life away. That's what it was. I forgot to get me something to drink. It's got more of a floral flavor to it. Okay. First hit. The smoke doesn't burn the back of your throat. Shut up! What the funk? The smoke burn hits your throat probably about halfway through the process. And I'm not a big fan of that smoke burn, which is why sometimes I'll put the little green straw on there that you see in my Instagram pictures. But it's got a nice flavor. It's a very easy smoke to pull anyway. It's not too heavy in the mouth the way that some smoke can be. It doesn't have that fatty, buttery quality to it. But overall, it's a really nice kind of smoke, and I do already feel a bit of a head high and a little bit behind my eyes. Body-wise, if my pain was already on a 8, considering everything, one hit wouldn't do it. So he's I have no idea what you're referring to, but I'm sure that you'll be prepared to tell me in a moment. Okay, so second hit. Yay, Mr. Best in the World. How's it see? Glad to see you. How's your spirit? All right, you guys. I'm gonna drop the link. I'm not gonna pull anybody up right away because I've been having a little bit of a lag on my internet, but I do want to have this conversation about your endocannabinoid system to get you started. Don, don't be laughing at me, man. All of y'all are at home toking and giggling and coughing. Some of y'all are at home retching and almost throwing up in the bucket right now. Your cough is so bad. Sound like a terrible carburetor, but it's all right. You can laugh at me and I will take it. I'm a G about my smoke. As long as I can, I'm going to hold it in and go slow. Now, sometimes, like last night, it'll get me and I got to put my hands up. You heard, I got you, Mr. Best in the World, 15 minutes. Okay. So, tonight though, you guys, I really am. I'm even going to drop the questions. We're not doing solutions. This is just to have a good conversation. Enjoy the fact that we made it to 200 citizens and that we're out across all of the across several platforms. And across several platforms, by the way, and all of them I have at least 200. There are 200 citizens wherever I am. Except for Facebook group. My Facebook, I have, but my Facebook group, we only got 28 folks over there. But we're having great conversations, and we need to make sure that we have more. Uh, Ula is being petty. I'm gonna read it first, because well, the chat already read it, so never mind. 'Twas the night before cannabis, an aspiring matriarch revealed the location of her extreme heating device. Overjoyed with her discovery, she proceeded to shout out the universe to the I will not accept this. You guys are okay. I feel as though the dojo of manhood got with some people behind the scenes to pick at me because I got on his stream and picked at him earlier. He said he had a smoke session and boy did I bring some smoke. It was too much fun for me. Back to the medicating. Oh, there is nothing like it. By the way, you guys, while we're talking about medicating, and I don't believe, well, modified punch may be connected to an OG strain. But let's talk about OG strains and Kush strains, just what I know. Do you guys journal your weed? Like, I don't know, give me a third coast. What up, Chief? How's your spirit? So glad to see you. So I was just asking, do people journal your weed experiences? Like, do you write it down? Do you know what your weed did for you at the first hit, the last hit? 5 minutes in, 5 minutes after the last hit. Anybody? Am I the only one who's that meticulous? And I was doing that before I even thought about doing the cannabis consulting thing. But I'm curious because I wonder why some people grab the weed that they do. Why do you choose the strains that you choose? What makes it that way? Yup, we're gonna have to go low tech tonight, y'all. Um, Mods, I'm gonna have to ask you guys to help me out with getting things done. I won't be able to show you guys. I'm gonna try one more time. Nope. Okay. It's in my best interest and the stream's best interest for me to do as little as possible, especially to be able to bring people up. So we're going to take this down. And I am going to go down to one monitor. Let me make sure I got this right. And nope. There we go. Okay. Don, you said no, and you said maybe you should. Third Coast, anybody else? Big Rigs, does anyone else do that for now? Does anyone who smokes or knows someone who smokes, because I know some of you may be in a place where only people with a license can smoke. If you know someone who smokes for medicating purposes, do they journal their okay. So a lot of you are saying no. How do you decide what kind of cannabis you're going to purchase? How do you decide what strain? What are you looking for? Is it the smell? Is it the color? Is it the weight? What do you base it off of? Those of you who may be in the business of cannabis, what do you base it off of? I want people to be able to understand why cannabis is beneficial to you overall. So I'm creating a lane for myself as a cannabis consultant. I can't say that it's a thing before. I mean, I'm sure that there is a thing before I came along, but for what I'm trying to do, which is to reach the folks who are out here using cannabis on a regular basis to self-medicate anyway, and tell you how to do it in a more efficient way and help you to become a more informed consumer. So all right, so Third Coast says you got to look at it and you're looking for the texture of it. Okay. Anybody else know what they're looking for? I know a lot of ladies do not know what they are looking for when it comes to weed. They trust whomever their connect is. Honestly, we in the South don't have as many choices as y'all out west. This is very true, Dawn. Another thing that I've noticed, even if you are in a state that has medical cannabis. Like some states it's low THC. Other states it's a restriction on what type of THC. I happen to be in Arizona where everything is legal, so but I chose this state for that reason. I knew what was coming when I moved out here, and I knew why I was moving out here. So Don, I would say in places where that's more difficult, then he's still right that looking for the texture, the color, weight by feel, the streets. But here's the thing, Third Coast, the streets, realistically, one of the reasons why I chose cannabis as one of my foundational pillars wasn't just because I use medical marijuana, but because I know there are so many young street pharmacists, so to speak, who are just into this game, right? And if they could actually be taught how to discuss and move cannabis, they could be bud tenders as long as they don't have a criminal background. And there's a way to get this thing done and to work in the industry without doing yourself damage. Right. And being a bud tender is one of them because in actual all of the issues are on the dispensary and not the individual. Don says, but I try to get high quality for sure, usually by color, smell, etc. Okay. So I'm going to say this to you the same way that I would tell people if we were talking about culinary skills. When it comes to choosing your cannabis, if it smells good to you, it's something that you should probably use. What your endocannabinoid system does is balance you out. And let me see if I can get this over here on one system, and that might just be what the issue is. Now I got to go back and find the thing that I was going to use. Oops, wrong one. There we go. Okay. Sorry, you guys. Give me a second. I'm trying to pull it up over here since I lost the other page. We'll go with this one. Yes, Third Coast. That word again. Endocannabinoid system. Come on. Did I choose the wrong one? I did. Hold on a second, you guys. I'm trying to find one. Here we go. Nope. To replace it, I really do dislike when this happens, but there it is. Here in Arizona, something about this time of night just really will do a thing. Okay. Let's try this one more time. I am so sorry, you guys. Thank you for bearing with me. In the meantime, this is a great time to get the likes up, share, subscribe, go over to the Buy Me a Coffee, do that thing you do so well, and show your girls some love. Ta-da! I did it! I'm so proud of me. I'm so proud of me. I'm so proud of me. Sorry. Okay. I deal with only a few people for the most part as well that are older smokers. They usually get better stuff. Yes, I agree with that statement as well. All right, so we're going to get into this and we're going to go right chill. The problem with doing it this way, though, is it's hard to get this screen big. Okay, so if you can see here, it says that we need to find that the cannabinoid is. I can't do that. That's too big. I can't see you guys. Chat. I don't like that. Ta-da! Sorry, you guys. Can you see that? One thing I can try to do. Poop. I don't care that much. I mean, I do, you guys. I hope it's not blinding you too much. That's really, really bright to me. Let's do it this way. Anyway, I'll read it to you because I can't get it bigger inside of this thing. The let's do this. Your cannabinoid is any group of closely related compounds which include cannabinol and the active constituents of cannabis. This includes the THC in Delta 9, the bit that's in Delta 8. Okay? That is those things, Delta 9, Delta 8, those are cannabinoids, cannabinols. Okay? Then you've got your, what is it? Endocannabinoid. Endocannabinoid. Shout out to Third Coast Royalty. It's an endogenous, cannabinoids. The cannabinoids that your body makes naturally. Hey y'all, what did I just say? Anybody? Can I get somebody in the chat to tell me what I just said? What does your body make naturally? I'll wait. Because if your body makes it naturally and then your body has I'll wait. Nobody knows. That's sad. I know it's hard to spell, right? Endocannabinoid. Endocannabinoid. Okay? So it's your endocannabinoids. Then you have an endocannabinoid system that includes endocannabinoids, the enzymes that help make them and break them down, and that receptors that endocannabinoids bind to. What's that mean? Basically, the long and the short of it, y'all, your body was made to process weed. Ta-da! Your body was made to process weed, and it helps with things like sleep, appetite, pain, inflammation, mental health, memory, mood, reproduction. What was that last one, y'all? Reproduction. I'm going to say it one more time. Reproduction. It helps with things like what it says here is the endocannabinoid system regulates the body's systems to maintain homeostasis. Any scientists in the chat? Your homeostasis? Balance. Balance to what? Your entire system. How are we balancing our system? Cannabis. Tonight we're talking about how cannabis helps us balance out our sexuality, so to speak. Now, this isn't to say that it keeps you from being one thing or another. I'm saying that much like everything else, cannabis or cannabis enhances your sex life. It can enlighten you in some ways, but it enhances your sex life. Certain strains will do that for you. Certain strains that are fruity, that are warm. I'm dropping the link in the chat. Each of them do a certain thing, but we will have a different discussion on that one when we get to talk about terpenes Um, because you find terpenes in your food. And using the two together is a great way also to extend your cannabis. But right now, knowing that cannabis is meant for your body is one of the most important things, because a lot of us, especially medical cannabis patients, um, especially those of us who used to be conservative, we how do I put this? We get in our feelings sometimes when we smoke. We have an internal battle, this existential crisis, as they say, which is something that you're going to have a few of when you start smoking, and really understand why you're smoking, what you're doing. We have this internal battle with our morals, with what we've always been told about using cannabis and its purpose in our lives, and so on and so forth. And then, there's also the fact that it does give us some pleasure. How should we feel about that? How should we move? There's a whole host of discussions still to be had. And I personally do not want to have those discussions on YouTube. I really want you guys to be able to join the Discord. If any of my moderators are in here and can at least put the Facebook link in the chat, I would greatly appreciate it. Let's just start having more cannabis conversations on Facebook, and I will get the Discord together. But the way that people are out here stealing content and doing disrespectful things to it, I don't want to educate you to being able to use your medicine, and while you're brand new at using it, have some terrible person steal it and tell you negative things. Um, it serves a greater purpose than that. And too many of us across all of these platforms and across all of the cultures out here have a need for for cannabis to be legalized, full stop. And then those of us who've been the most abused by a this abusive justice system should have first, not last, but first crack at being able to build a better way out of this system using the same workhorse that they've been using to beat us down with. That's why I talk about it the way that I do. That's why I use it on the stream in the way that I do. That's why I go into other spaces and talk about it. But just as I said this tonight, how long will it be before there's a discussion about it? And will it really be a balanced conversation? Or just somebody's opinions based on what they think they know from the people that they've experienced around them? Tired, y'all. That's all. But anyway, when we talk about sex and cannabis and your spirit, how you move in these spaces matters. When you come to cannabis, when you come to meeting other people, when you come to your approaches in the world, it all matters. I say cannabis, community, conversation. There are 5 C's, right? 5 foundational points. And we talked about this on Twitter. I know it was Third Coast tonight, but we talked about how you can't have just a box, right? This isn't sturdy. Just as easily as my fingers are doing this, it's not sturdy. You need one more beam somewhere in there. You need at least a 5th point right here, more this way, I guess is what I should be saying, right? To hold everything together so it doesn't fall, or else the bottom falls out. And repeatedly, for Black folks, the bottom keeps falling out because we don't have a sturdy enough foundation. Maybe I'm wrong on my mathematics. Somebody's better at whatever mathematical field that is can pull up and tell me. But what I can say is, if we don't use all of those things and that understanding our own 5 foundational things, then we're not going to get out of this system. And so when it comes to writing a journal, that's a discipline. Using cannabis as medicine, that's a discipline. That's why I ask the Dojo of Manhood to come and have a conversation about discipline. in the hopes that he might push back a little bit at me saying I think cannabis should be a part of our everyday life. We should understand it in that way. But, it is a part of my everyday life. I understand that, citrusy, fruity strains give me energy, and I understand that OG strains make me want to touch, right? Kush strains, wait, I gotta pull the journal out. It's backwards actually. Kush strains just make me want to touch. OG strains make me want to do. And they might do that for you too. That's why I encourage you to journal, because then you'll find out what you're about. Like, when does it work for you? How does it work for you? What does it do for you? Your weed, especially if you're doing flower, should last you about 4 hours. Your high. It may even last you longer than that. And imagine what you can do in 4 hours in great company, having good times, talking about touching and loving and the hedonistic things that you've done in your past. Um, Indicas and sativas really don't mean as much as you think they do. Everything today is a hybrid. Really, it's just a matter of helping you to understand how they look. So sativas look the most like this, like your fingers wide open and spread out. Hybrids, or what they call Kush on the street, is going to be a little bit tighter, but still wide and more light in color. And then indicas are going to be short, squat, and kind of strawberry shaped. Hey, DJ Eddie, so glad to see you. What are you doing up this time of night? My goodness. Thank you so much for stopping in and chatting with me. I hope you're at least getting a chance to medicate on your side of the world. Um, Hybrids usually seem to be more of the crispy-ish type to me. Um, I find sun growns to be much woodier in the stalk. At the Dojo of Manhood said, I don't know about cannabis every day. However, I don't know much about it. I'm generally not a fan of drugs, but I admit I'm fairly ignorant on its benefits. Fair enough. And so I hope that you'll keep watching as we go into the next year and we can have conversations about it. Real ones. Not judgmental ones. That's why I started out this stream, just letting y'all know that I do it. You have to do these things in stages, right? But having said that, the benefits of cannabis. I keep trying to record it, you guys, and I actually have videos. My Fibro blog, my Fibro Life videos are out there. I actually have videos of what it's like, but I really need to do one from a day where it's dark and cold and you can truly understand. Because the worst thing for me is to be dark, cold, in a dark, cold, and silent space. And if my body is aching on top of that, it's even worse. In those days, I have to medicate myself all the way out, and it's understanding exactly what things that's going to take, and being able to express that to my fellow Daniel in real time, even though I'm sometimes struggling just to get the words out. So it's really important that we be more open to the discussion. And so I appreciate that from all of you. I know it feels like I pulled you guys in here on a bit of a lark, but it's true. That was my past life. And when I was talking to Kareen tonight on the Dojo of Manhood, um, I realized that I just needed to make something clear. When I said what my fella had done for me, those were the things that I realized, right, he was doing as his way of showing his love for me. But what I didn't realize was the connection that was already there between us. And that's why I said that I don't think that he did either. Like, it's just for some reason, this person sits with you some way. Outside of all of the other things, I already had my boundaries and standards in place. There's certain things that I wasn't going to tolerate. I'm never going to tolerate another man putting his hands on me again. That's a boundary. I expect a man to open the door. That's a standard. Those are not conditions. That's the frame, that's your frame, your rubric, your thing to work within, your recipe for the right person. And then after you've written your recipe, you go out into the world and you meet some people just based off being human beings, not the things that you've already experienced, that you've hurt, and you expect may come from anybody from anywhere because you've been out here too long by yourself. But that's why I say you need herb in your life, because the one thing that herb does for you is it opens you up to having the conversation. And I'm not saying it in a way that it's a gateway. What I'm saying is, Third Coast Royalty said this best the other day. He said, weed enlightens you, or it enhances you, right? You're already here. You're already thinking. You're already a thinker. It just gives you the push to think in that direction, to go further down that way and see what you come up with. But you're already thinking. You're already on the path to considering whatever it is that the rabbit hole is you're going down. It's just getting you to go ahead and go through with the process and come up with a decision on the other side, maybe. And I sit here to help you decide that community and socialism is better than capitalist white supremacist bullshit. Welcome to 2022, a sneak peek. Hope you were watching tonight, because I'm definitely going to lock this one up. Anybody want to come up and tell me anything at all? I will take your smoke. I will take your comments. I will take whatever it is you got for me. I just want us to do better. I want you all to know that you can use cannabis in the right way and we can get somewhere in this life. But at 2 o'clock in the morning, do I really expect anybody out east to say much? Nah. Like I said, I just wanted to make sure that we had a conversation. This will be up for at least 24 hours. It's Sunday morning, you guys. Y'all want to go to church? What you want to talk about? What you want to do? Tell me something. I am going to hit this one more time. I wonder, can I do this from here? Now that I've only got one monitor. Circus, 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 circus. No, because already out the gate, it has taken me to the old YouTube account. So let's do this. It's moving super slow, huh? Yeah. Oh, someone popped up in the, hey, Mr. Best in the World. All right, Big Rick Slash is gonna grab another dab. How are you, Mr. Best in the World? How's your spirit?
I am doing well. I'm doing well. You know, it's a great weekend. We come about real fast. Well, half of it.
Yes.
We got one more day. So yeah.
It's insane out here. It's been busy today, though. I think everybody decided to go live before the holidays.
Oh yeah. And people gonna definitely be doing stuff during the week. You know what I mean? Because everybody home. So when you home, hey, you gonna stream. Only makes sense. You know, and then that also gives you more content, gives you more subscribers, and you know, it just helps the overall bottom line, I guess, right?
Definitely. You just gave me an idea
Okay.
for what I'm gonna do. Since there are no little people in my house to be doing all that stuff for, and I don't do those holidays anymore. I probably will just go ahead and go live on Christmas Eve and Christmas night. One, because I know that there are parents up, doing that thing. So might as well get them something to listen to in the meantime. And two, Kwanzaa's right after that. And I might as well go ahead and be petty me and be like, over there wrapping all them hundreds of dollars worth of gifts when y'all could have just got together and had a conversation about unity and respect for 7 doggone days.
Exactly.
But I just again, thank you guys for coming through last night. Before I forget, put you guys' information in the back so that I can make sure that it gets put out this time. Unfortunately, my I don't have enough bandwidth right now to be able to share another screen the way I want to. I usually do. So we can't go to your page. However, I was over there in your chat today. You guys, y'all tickled me. When Colin came up and you all started the conversation. When I say
Yes.
I've been all over these YouTube streets looking at heathenism today, I'm talking about everywhere, like in every neck of. But listening to you all talking to Colin, I was like, oh, is this what we're? You fellas.
Mm-hmm.
Some of y'all barbershop stuff, I'm like, it's time for me to exit stage left. I'm gonna just.
I mean,
I know what. Go ahead.
Colin is he's a great guy, and I really like him because he's very easy to talk to and get along with. As well, he doesn't mind sharing about his life. When you have somebody who's willing to share about their life and be them authentic themselves, I mean, it just adds so much value to your show. You know what I mean? Like I really, 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 really appreciate that. So
Yeah. I thought one of the best things was when he mentioned being a missionary, and someone was like, "Are you Mormon?" And he was like, "Nah, Methodist," because we make so many assumptions for that it's something else, something other than what we are, that's got this thing going on, or it could happen to anybody but us. But when you look at Colin, or when you look at you all and you all's story, you're like, "Oh, they look just like me." How you say that happened again? And I think I think that's something that we don't give enough credit to. It's just being a dojo asked this question on his channel later on. He was like,
mhm.
"Why should we listen to elders?" Not he didn't frame it in that way. To be fair, but it was a conversation that was basically elders were like, "You should respect my authority," and he was like, "F your authority. I have a degree." Sorry, my autism thinks it has to rhyme too, but it's a legitimate conversation that's happening in YouTube as well. A bunch of sex talk, a bunch of folks who are older than the younger folks trying to tell them how to behave. That's the story of generations. But we know that the truth is there seems to be an agenda, like I started at the beginning of this video, of people out here selling our people BS. And so, I appreciate that you all brought someone from outside of the community to help talk about, hey, these things happen to us no matter what, even though you weren't addressing specifically what I said.
Yeah, I think that because relationships are relationships, right? You're gonna have relationships no matter where you're at. I do think they do change based on culture, and also your location, right? So if you live in a certain part of the world, what I mean, you are going to have a different experience than anybody else has. And shout out to M3 and DJ Eddie. I see y'all in the comments. What's up, brothers? I see y'all. You know what I mean? You're gonna have a different experience just based on your location and just based on where you're at. You know what I mean? And based on what your culture is, or your perceived culture is. So, but it's good to see that, like, people, because here's the thing, we all want to connect with somebody, correct? We all want connection. We all want to be loved and supported, and we all want somebody to be there for us. That's just a human thing. But in that, it's like, having healthy relationships. So I think, and that's why we're knowledge in relationships. Thank you, bro. Thank you. That's why we're knowledge in relationships, because we speak to that. We speak to the fact that, we can have, very, very respectable and intelligent conversation about relationships. It doesn't have to be trashy. It doesn't have to be like overly sensual. It doesn't have to be any of those things. It could be, hey man, yo, I'm going through this, man. I'm really trying to figure out. Like, there was a brother who jumped on. I'm not going to share his name because it's a very personal thing, and he basically had to go to like intense therapy because he was having PTSD over his breakup. Like, and man, that was huge. And I've talked to him offline, and we've talked about different things, and I was like, wow, like, this is real. Like, And sometimes you just think, oh, I'm just streaming, it ain't nothing. Who's really watching? But people are really watching you. People are really watching you, and they really are listening to what you have to say, and they really look for you sometimes for advice and support. Sometimes when we on here, we're not realizing that these people are sometimes crying out for help, sometimes need help, and sometimes just need somebody to listen to. Maybe somebody's watching you stream and it helps them fall asleep. Maybe somebody watching the stream and it helps them to have comfort after having a long day from work or dealing with a lot of kids, or maybe they're taking care of their parents or whoever. You know what I'm saying? Or just dealing with themselves. we sometimes are therapeutic without knowing. So yeah.
So you helped me to solidify my walk in these social media spaces some, and begin to try to narrow people into my podcast coming up in January. And so I'm going to go back just a little bit to get to bring your story into my realm. You spoke yesterday about what they're calling in these YouTube streets church hurt. And I left the church when I was 13. My best friend
Wow.
got pregnant. And the deacons and the pastor brought her up in front of the church and made her tell the entire church that she was pregnant by an officer's son, and that he was not going to help her take care of the baby.
Wow.
Yeah. And then I would later find out that my actual father, not the man who raised me, but my actual father was a Scientologist.
Wow.
So for me, I'm looking at cults and religion cults in an entirely different way. And I'm looking at YouTube and I'm seeing it happen with this bag chasing thing that's going on, and with this sexualization that's going on. And I'm a mom. I know how to speak to my kids, but I'm also a disabled woman. And so on Twitter, I can speak out my pain as a disabled Black woman who's seen so much trauma and abuse. But I realize people are over there who are so hurt that if I were to frame it all in the way that I do on YouTube, it wouldn't work. I realized that I had to frame it in a different context on Instagram to get an audience who understands the message. But I want to bring everybody to the table in the way that you all do. But I know that here in YouTube specifically, they need a voice that's saying, listen, neither side of what's happening out here is the truth. These are all lies and agenda to get you to go down a rabbit hole. And so I think that my question to you is making this succinct finally. How do you make someone like, I know Collins in my own life, but how do I make them feel comfortable in this space so that they can come up and say, nah, JP is right. This is what I see too. It's not just so much white supremacy as it is everyone who doesn't look like those dudes is being oppressed by this system.
I think what makes them comfortable is the fact that we were vulnerable ourselves. One, because how we initially met was this: we were talking to somebody, and they were talking about their real estate company, but they also were sharing about their life experience and relationships, and everything else. So while that was going on, we, he jumped on and he started talking about, he just wanted to ask for advice, and once he started asking for advice, everything just went from there. Like he just was, expressing about his relationship, his previous relationship, what he wanted to do, with women, and how he was feeling about women, and his thought process and everything. And we all were just trying to help him just to really, have confidence really in himself, because that's where it started. We wanted him to have a healthy relationship for himself. And with that, that will help him to definitely find the right woman and find everything else. But he just had to really just be able to find himself. And I'm glad that we were a reference and a guide to help him get to that point. And I know he's just been through a lot of stuff, at a young age, with women. Like, he's very young and he's been through a lot of experiences. that I didn't experience till like I was probably almost dang near 30 or really close to that. So he had experienced a lot of things before me, at a younger age, but I could still relate because I did experience it. But all in all, that's the thing. We just made the environment comfortable. We let him express how he felt. We tried to direct him. We weren't trying to tell him what to do. We were more trying to just direct him into the direction we felt like he can go or that would help him. But we also gave him the freedom to make mistakes, be himself, and then we still accepted him no matter what. And so because of that, he keeps coming back, and we love him as a viewer, as a guest, and as a supporter. We definitely appreciate him and love him, just like we appreciate and love all our viewers and supporters. You know what I mean? So that's really what it was. And I want to make a point about the whole religion thing and just the YouTube street thing. I think with organized religion, I think the problem with it is the fact that it's just organized religion. It's supposed to be relationship. You know what I mean? It's not supposed to be, a place where you are like in the military or, you feel like you're about to go to battle and there's nobody to battle. You know what I mean? It's supposed to be a family environment. It's supposed to be an environment where you are helping those who need help. You're listening to each other. You're having fun. You're planning events. You know what I mean? You're helping people to build healthy relationships because you're saying that the world outside is evil, right? That's what you're saying. The world outside is evil. Stop doing things like the world is doing, blah, 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 blah. But when I come here, I don't feel safe. I feel less safe here than I feel in the world. I'd rather be on the block with the guys that I know from the block than be out here with you because I don't feel safe with you. You have not built up a credible, basically testimony, you know what I mean, and reference guy for me to say that I can trust you. You're not credible enough. I don't believe you. You know what I mean? So that's really what it is. It's seeing that somebody has not done what it takes to be believable, and based on that, I'm not going to listen to you. You know what I mean? Because you made an environment unsafe. You made it judgmental. And you've taken away from what it's really supposed to be. You know what I mean? Which is a safe haven for everybody. And I can say for the YouTube streets, for people chasing the bad, making it overly sensual and doing all that stuff. I just, I would say, I always tell people, create content, don't be the content. When you are doing things where you are basically drawing attention to yourself, but you're also drawing negative attention to yourself, you're basically making negative references to people, you're doing all those things, then it's, it's like a farmer planting a seed. If you plant those seeds within your structure, they're going to sprout, they're going to grow. And then if you plant dissension is going to grow, right? If you plant unity can grow. Now, listen, even amongst my team, sometimes we have disagreements. Sometimes we have arguments. Sometimes people are being a-holes. Sometimes people are being condescending. Sometimes we're being prideful. I mean, it happens to all of us, you know what I mean? And, that's not to put any one of us down. We all have our moments, you know what I mean? There's times when I have my moments. There's times when the rest of people on my team have our moments. We had a little moment today. You know what I'm saying? Because somebody was feeling a way, they wanted to share something, but we didn't understand what they were feeling. We were trying to comprehend, but we was trying to tell them that we support you, no matter what. We just having a hard time comprehending. And we weren't trying to put you down or make fun of you. We just were trying to, comprehend what you were talking about. So, those are things that happen at times. And with that being said, even within our structure, we know the way we stay united is that we have a common goal. We set out on that common goal and we support each other. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's about. Nobody is more important than anybody else. You know what I mean? We understand what our roles are. We understand what we need to do. We understand how we need to support each other. We understand our strengths and weaknesses, and we go from there, and not everybody's going to be able to do everything. If you find somebody that can do everything, then you better lock them up and throw away the key. you better treasure that person. If they can do this and they can do that, and they have this thought concept, and they can write, and they can, if you can do everything and you can do it all the time, that's somebody that you better keep on your side and keep on your team. But with all of us, we have different things that we can do. We can do them all well. I can't do everything that everybody does. I can do a lot of good things well, but I can't do everything. So there's things that people do on my team that I cannot do. We have a music, coordinator, DJ Eddie King. I don't know nothing about making no music. I can't, you tell me to make a beat, I'll start beatboxing on the table. That's as far as we're gonna go. Ain't gonna be nothing else I can do. That's as far as I'm gonna go with it. You know what I mean? I may do some beatboxing with my mouth or whatever, try to take it back to the old school, but that's as much as you're gonna get from me. I don't have the gift of instrumentation or making a rhythm, making a beat. I can dance to it. I maybe can sing a little bit, but that's about it. That's what you're gonna get from me. You know what I mean? So I know my weakness, and that's one of my weaknesses. I can't do that, and that's his strength. And that's what makes us work. We understand our strengths and weaknesses. We support our strengths and weaknesses, and we also hold each other accountable and responsible. Oh, thank you, big Rich Slaps. I appreciate you. We also, hold each other accountable too and responsible for different things. You know what I mean? And that's what keeps us going. If somebody's wrong, we'll say, hey, you're wrong. If somebody's right, we'll say, hey, you're right. It doesn't matter who it is. And that's what really helps us to function. And I feel like that's what a lot of people on the other platforms don't have. They don't have that. It's all about individualism. It's all about my image and I'm gonna show you what I got or whatever. And it's like people, we're in a stage where people are just trying to connect, or just trying to get back to connecting. The last thing I need to know is what's in your bank account or what you have on or whatever else. I can care less about that. And plus, if we did a comparison, there's going to be things that I have that you don't have. There's going to be things that you have that I don't have. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter.
That's the entire point.
Exactly.
If you're right, I'm sorry, Big Rick Slap says, I believe in that. If you're right, you're regardless who you are. If you're right regardless of who you are. It's another thing. And I'm willing to, there's just more of an openness that our older folks had. A lot of them who raised some of these young men who are coming up in their 30s and 20s now in the church still, or with that same mindset about relationships. And so keeping it on topic, like I said that I would, when it comes to sexual relationships, can you speak to the power dynamic in the bedroom? How does that work out? Who this is the one place where I say that power is a thing between the two from time to time. So what would you say?
I would say that we live in a world now where people have different preferences, right? So you have to find what works for you. You know what I'm saying? If you want a monogamous relationship and you kind of want to be less assertive, then you can do that. You know what I mean? If you want more than one partner, or I guess you want a dog, a cat, or a duck, whatever you are into, that's what you're into, right? No.
Wait. Yeah. I gotta push back.
Okay.
Isn't that buying into the same system?
No, sis, because here's the thing, right? If you like orange juice and I like apple juice, I can't tell you to like apple juice, right? Yeah. I can't say, oh, sister, you got to drink apple juice. You're like, I don't like apple juice. I want orange juice, right? So how can I force you to be or to do something that you don't want to do? And that goes for anything. I think we got to get in society where we are able to accept people's preferences, right? Their acronyms, their verbs, their religious stances, you know what I mean? And not be biased. And they got to also accept us. You know what I'm saying? That's in the bedroom and out of the bedroom. And I think men should be assertive in their relationship. That's what I believe, right? That's my preference. That's what I want. But some people, go ahead.
I gotta ask though.
Okay.
Is that really what's going to do the best for our future? For us having a future?
Oh, man. Let people do whatever they want.
That's heathenism.
Okay, listen. I personally think that it won't. That's what I personally think. I think that it won't help our future for people to just do whatever they want. I think it won't help. But is it going to stop? No. So with that being said, okay, I'm gonna give you an example, right? Somebody living a lifestyle that's eventually gonna kill them, right? You see it, your friends see it, you all see it, right? Let's say they just have a drinking problem. Let's just throw it out there. They have a drinking problem. They drink way too much, right? You can't take them nowhere without drinking. Like, I mean, you can't even go to the corner store. Like, it's just ridiculous, right? do you know, how do you approach the situation, right? You love them, right? You don't want to embarrass them. You don't want to treat them badly, right? You want them to feel safe and secure in who they are, but yet they need to be told the truth, right? So you have to approach the situation in the most loving way. You know what I mean? Of course, there will be a time where you may have to be more assertive in your approach, but you wanna come at it in the most respectable way, because at the end of the day, it is their life, and it's really none of our business and how they really live their life. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not paying their bills, we're not responsible for them. You know what I mean? Like, they're their own human being. Now, if we're gonna step in, I'm listening.
This is why I hit back with the conservative in me.
Mm-hmm.
We are paying their damn bills.
How would you say that?
Where my tax dollars going? Because I can't get my disability check, but everybody getting unemployment right now.
But here's the thing, right? If they're getting that, right, or if somebody, okay, listen, who, and listen, I believe in it strongly. We can't pocket watch people, okay? If somebody, listen, if that's the case, then we need to take all the millionaires and thousandaires and billionaires who ain't really helping out the way they need to be helping out, or the way they should help out. We need to take them to court and have them on trial. But that ain't
Welcome
gonna
to
happen.
the Socialist Party.
But that ain't gonna happen, sis. That's
Why
not gonna
not?
happen. Why is it not gonna happen? Because we live in a capitalist society. It has no moral base.
No,
it has no moral base.
I will give you that part. But what I will say is this: is that America was written to be the what's the shining beacon on a hill, right? Democracy, socialism, blah 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 blah. Okay, well, capitalism has had its day and failed. It's always because capitalism is built on white supremacy, but however you want to run that.
No, you're on par. I'm with you. Yes.
Okay, right. So it's always been, and yet we see not just if you plant seeds in what's the name of the song? Strange Fruit, right? Our ancestors were the strange fruit hanging from the trees. That blood that ran down the trees, blood on the leaves that hit the ground. We are buried in. I mean, we were planted in that soil along with every modern child.
That's why they said we have PTSD, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Every modern child, not just Black children, but children like Colin. Every modern child has experienced the oppression of capitalism. And so, if you go into one space and you can say the message in a way that works for the disabled children over there, in another space that works for the cannabis smokers over there, and then you can bring them right here, then I can give them a message that's universal of what I know of knowledge of self from what I've experienced in all of those spaces and my life in all of those spaces.
Sis, you need to stream every day. I'm sorry, you need to stream every day because oh my gosh, yo, I just grabbed my head like, yo, okay, listen. M3, what's good? My brother M3, Mr. Knowledge and Relationships himself. DJ Eddie.
Oh, I didn't come along. Hey, what's going on, guys?
He loves these topics.
Hello, JP. How you doing, Queen?
Hey, gentlemen, thank you so much for pulling up. I appreciate it.
I got it. Okay, before I let my brothers rock out, these are my brothers. Before I let them rock out, okay, I understand what you're saying, but some people haven't gone through PTSD with capitalism, especially if they have a family culture that's living beyond their means, right? And that they're not facing some issues that I would say people of color have faced.
I disagree.
Okay. Tell me why I'm wrong. I'm listening.
Okay. 48% of the American population was at or below the poverty line before the pandemic hit in 2020. Okay. That means that 48% of America could not have a $500 emergency come up, or they would be homeless, sleeping in their car, or even have it repossessed and just be outright homeless. Now, let's just go ahead and give it the other 2% because of the pandemic. 50% of the American population is now at or below the poverty line. Many of those people live in food deserts, which means that only they get food that they can go all the way to Walmart on the bus, because Walmart's not allowed in the cities because of what it does to mom and pop stores. It's a cycle of shit, and everybody is in it. And the only people who truly understand it are those children coming up in it, who are seeing it play out in their classrooms where their peers are shooting each other up.
Wow.
Deep.
Woo. Woo. That's why she Auntie JP. I ain't got nothing to say. I'm good.
JP won that conversation right there.
Woo. Man.
I
let me tell you something.
I just hopped in.
Not too many people can out debate me. Not too many. I mean, I can really count on my hand who can really out debate me. But you got me on this one. You got me on this one.
Yeah. This your first defeat, man. This is your first defeat.
I wouldn't even say it's a defeat. It's a good reference point. You know what I mean? It's a good reference point because, oh man.
Go ahead.
Okay. Let me say this, right? Okay, we're talking about financial means, right? We're talking about financial means, but I still feel like there's certain people, based on their culture or their background, who will not face the oppression that we face. You know what I mean? They will not get redlined. They will be able to find a way out of it. You know what I mean? In certain ways, maybe not financially, but I could say they can find their ways out in different ways through different resources. Now, if you're talking about just a pure economic standpoint, then I can definitely understand that because you have the facts to prove that. But I think relationally and everywhere else, you know, it can also be, and shout out to Don Frank. I see her in the comments. Hey, Don Frank. You know, I see that, you know, they can also have or use other resources that sometimes we as people of color do not have or are not able to obtain, you know, relationally or anywhere else. And I want to say this, okay? Now, I do believe that people should have moral standards and values. I will say that, right?
Yeah.
But I cannot tell somebody how to live their life with somebody that they love or that they want to be intimate with. I can't tell somebody that. Like, that's wrong, because at the end of the day, I'm not going to, hey, Arshawn Dave, what's going on? Please come up, Arshawn Dave, please. You know what I mean?
Butterscotch gang, come on.
You gotta stop calling them that. You don't like that. But with that being said, like, I think that it's just I can't tell somebody, yo, you gotta do this because it's the right way. You know what I mean? Even though it could be successful, even though I know it's successful, how can I really tell them that? I can tell them that in a loving way, but at the end of the day, they still gotta be their own person. I still gotta love them anyway, right? Like, so, but I can understand the message has to be delivered. Correct. That's what you're trying to say.
Yes, and so I'm going to ask you this question. Do any of you gentlemen have children, specifically sons?
No, ma'am.
No.
Okay. I want you, there was a statistic, and I'm not sure if it still applies today, but the statistic was 1 in 3 Black men will be gay. This was back in the 90s, right? Fast forward to I have 3 sons. Now, I agree with what you're saying on its face, gentlemen, that we shouldn't tell anybody what to do. What we must do is be honest about what life is like if that is where you are. What we must do is be honest about this has not always been the life of our people. Why are we seeing such an amount of it? But again,
Right.
even with seeing the amount of it, why are we still seeing the prevalence of violence if it's becoming normal? We got to start talking about the other parts of it so we can have the whole conversation, and then children can make choices.
Yeah.
Even if they may feel a way, they've got something to base it off of. I understand all of these things, and I continue to move forward.
Auntie JP, can I ask something? I know I see M3 there. M3, I don't want to ignore you, brother. I don't want to ignore you at all. You know what I mean? You muted too, M3. I'm sorry. I think you're muted. I don't want to ignore you at all, but I gotta ask DJ Eddie's perspective on this. I just gotta ask his perspective on it. I got to. I'm sorry.
Why, Eddie? What you got for me, Eddie?
Go ahead and ask best of the world, best of both worlds. I'm gonna call you that, man. Best of both worlds.
No, but I just answered it. I just said you can't. I told her like she can't tell people how to live their life, but she said that the message has to be delivered somehow. Oh, I ain't get smoked, Rashawn. I don't never get smoked. I don't never get smoked. Doesn't believe. You know what I mean? But I gotta get Eddie's opinion. I don't mean to skip going through. I'm not trying to.
No, you good, man. You good.
Well, listen. When I was growing up, we didn't really actually see a whole bag amount of. I call it the hallucination community because I don't say the name, but I call it the hallucination community. We never seen a whole amount of that. Back in the days, it was private. But at the same time, if that's who this person is, that's what they're gonna be. But of course, I'm not going to tell them what to do. But at the same time, don't force it. You can't force anything on us. For example, you can't enforce this poison on us that's just going around right now. You can't force something on us that we don't, that we don't want, that we don't need. Listen, you go ahead and you take care of your business, but don't bring that over to our community. That's what I feel. But at the same time, a lot of people are scared to speak up about this because the majority of the time, they get banned or, you see the details of what's going on with these rappers. Anytime they got something to say, they're cut off. The checks are cut. Now they're back on the streets because of what they said. I really feel
or they're cut.
Yeah, the cut. Yeah, the cut. Because now it's like they're taking control. They're being a lot more petty. Now, don't get me wrong. There's solid folks out there. There's a lot of people that's solid. And they keep it and they talk about it. They listen, man. We don't want this out in the open. We want it to be privately. We don't want to force anything because there's a lot of cats out there that don't agree with these petty people are doing. They don't agree with that. But when we was coming up, I really feel that like success, right? Success is important for us. Like if we need to go somewhere, if we're trying to reach that goal to success, that's who we should listen to. Even though the person is right, that's who we should listen to. But it started to become a problem, started to become drama. It's so much drama. I don't even know which way to turn, left, right, up, down. It's becoming a big, huge problem. But you can't even tell a person this nowadays which way to go now. Now all of a sudden they're going to cut that off. There's going to be a law to where you can't even tell nobody what to do anymore. Even though this is supposed to be the land of the free. That's what they call it. It's the land of the prison right now. And I feel like there should be some changes, but it's hard to do that because so many people are so distracted about what's going on. You got the smash and grab, you got the rappers is acting crazy, and a lot of these rappers, I pray that a lot of these young rappers, they stay out of jail because the feds is just all over it. They're everywhere. But you know what the problem is? You know what they do with these youngsters? Sometimes they make a mistake and not even thinking. They're not using their head. They're using the camera to let everybody see. You're basically telling on yourself. You know what I'm saying? You put your whole life on camera and you tell the whole school. No one has to snitch on you. You snitch on yourself, buddy. You got caught up. So we need to work on that also. But then I can't point the fingers at the older generation. I feel like it's not their fault. The older generation right now, they don't even watch TV. They don't know anything about clout. All they know is about, hey, go to school, do this the right way, and this, and that, and third. That's all they know.
That's why I blame them. They were lazy. Instead of getting discipline, they stayed at that same tired ass job that they hated. They never bothered to figure out who they were as people and move that way. They continued to blame their parents for what their parents did wrong and didn't attempt to do better by their children. They did even worse and began to chase the bag.
I'm gonna have to jump in real quick on this one, right?
Go ahead.
Okay, go ahead. I'll
DJ, my apologies on this one, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
But here's the thing, right? The older generation, at least the ones above us, right? They wasn't lazy. They was miseducated. When you have proper education, you're not gonna be able to have a clear direction for the young folks. When you live in a generation that anything that you do, like your own people do, and it gets snatched from you, and then they tell you who you're supposed to be. After a while, somewhere down the line, from our generations, someone in the family gave up, or just was like, you know what? I'm not going to do more research because I don't know, my capabilities of learning is limited. See, when there's limited resources, when no one is really helping you to get to where you need to be at, when your own people don't trust you and they look at you in a certain type of way because of how they was taught and how they was raised, then you're not going to have the knowledge to get the resources to pass on to other people.
Mm-hmm.
That's why
Mm-hmm.
you have people that stay in certain jobs because they was taught that, hey, all you have to do in order for you to survive is to continue to work for that company and build your credentials up.
You said it right there. You
Mm-hmm.
said survive. Who taught
Mm-hmm.
our people that they had to survive? Because Harriet Tubman did not say, "Oh, y'all, if y'all wants to be free, run towards." I'm sorry, if y'all wants to survive, run that way. She said, "If you want to be free, run towards freedom, right? Run towards this thing over here." She didn't say if you want to just be able to live through this life, because then she would have told you, "Stay right here, put your head down, and do this thing."
Mm-hmm.
But
Somewhere
not
along the
everyone
way,
listen. Yeah, somewhere down along the way, just like what Moses, like let's I'm gonna use Moses as an example, right? Okay. Moses had instructions to lead his people in a certain type of way.
Mm-hmm.
But people was not listening. Like, when you was walking through the desert for like 40 plus years after you went through the struggles, someone down the line, a group of people gave up, okay? And they decided
wait.
not to.
Did Moses give up, or was he forced to go on?
I think, well, let me not quote on this one, right? Because I don't remember too much of the story, but I'm only focused like on the people who was following Moses at one point.
Mm-hmm.
There was at a time, right, where Moses was supposed to keep going, but he disobeyed God on something, but God still gave him a promise to when you get to the promised land, but you will die once you get there. You're not going to live long enough to enjoy it. You
Yeah.
know, people give up hope after a certain time period. You know, and then when they give up hope, and other people who look up to them see that, that's when they start to dwindle, and that's when they stop. And instead of like really teaching the people like your history, you just kind of let it go because you don't want to deal with it. You
Mm-hmm.
lose the importance of it. So we have a lot of history that our people, like our parents, hasn't really been teaching us.
Okay. So when I say that they
Mhm,
dropped the bag, this
mhm.
is not to discredit their value,
Yeah.
but they fell short. Just the
Hmm.
way that parents fall short. And if we're good parents, we go back to our children. These are the mistakes that I made. I apologize for those mistakes. Here, help me. Let me become useful to you by giving you the information to be a better person going forward.
Yeah.
Right?
Hmm.
So, what is missing when these people lose hope? When they lost hope in Moses, Moses did something to make them turn away from him and God. We are doing something to make our youth turn away from us and what is right, because
Mm-hmm.
we started chasing the bag. Look at the number of groups who were out here in the time frame that you're talking about that were doing the right thing. The Nation of
Hmm.
Islam, the Panthers, and so on and so forth. Either an agent came in or there was an agent of chaos present. You understand?
Yeah.
Hmm.
So if we were to do this, we have to get on our square and be firm about that square. It's whatever our past is. The reason why I believe that so many of us are willing to accept and say, I can't tell anybody else what to do, is because of our own witness testimony.
Mm-hmm.
Yet, because I don't think that we stand not proud, but firm in how far we've come from our witness testimony. Because every day is still a struggle, no matter what it is. It's still a struggle. Your ego will always be a struggle, no matter how far away from it you move. Jesus had an ego moment just before his last moment. You understand?
Really?
So, yeah, when he
Wow.
said, "Why hast thou forsaken me?"
Oh, that was the ego moment.
That's
I didn't know. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That part was new to me. I didn't know it was it was an ego
My-
moment.
if you think about it like this, right? We're talking about we're three of the same
Mhm.
thing: my id, my ego, and my super ego.
Okay. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Jesus Christ, however you word them,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. So at a moment, I am battling with just my damn ego.
Wow.
What did you just say, M3? I'm going to take you to the promised land, but you're not going to be there long enough to enjoy it. You'll see it, but you
Mhm.
won't enjoy it. The
Mm.
next generation will enjoy it, but you'll get to see it. I'm
Right.
telling you what I've been trying to tell everybody my whole damn life. I'm sorry. Is that the spirit in that book has always been the spirit in you. That's what they're telling you. Not that you waiting on somebody else to come back. You are your God spirit.
Yeah.
You are
Mhm.
who was talking to the whole time. When it says know thyself, it is saying, do you know who you are? Do
You
you
are
know your ego? And can you humble your ego?
right. Right.
Right.
But
Yes,
once
ma'am.
you've humbled your ego, can you then go out and share your story and stand on everything that you've accomplished and everything that you've been through?
And that I would say, yes,
Wow.
absolutely.
M3,
Yes, ma'am.
M3,
What's up? What's
Yes,
M3.
up?
ma'am.
What's up?
Yeah,
What's up?
y'all get these likes
Can
up.
you,
Yeah, hold on, hold on,
can
hold
you,
on.
number one,
Wait,
get
wait,
the
wait, wait,
likes
wait.
up.
Hold on, get the likes up. Get the likes up. Come on,
Yeah,
people,
like and
get the likes up.
subscribe.
Okay.
Word.
This
M3,
Wait,
man, can you hit the
somebody-
horn?
conversation is beautiful.
Oh, you
Yeah, can you
want
hit the horn,
you
M3,
ready for the horn?
please?
Hold
Yeah,
on,
hit
hold
that
on,
horn
man.
right now. Hit that horn right now.
All
Okay,
right, all right.
from Miss JP. I call her Miss JP. Okay.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I don't want to
I'm
listen.
waiting for this to load up right now. Hold on, I got you on the horn though. You ready?
Yeah, we
Bam.
ready. Let's get it. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Let me say
Oh
this real
my
quick, right?
gosh. Whew.
Let me say this real quick. See, the thing is, right? It's all about your value systems and your convictions. So yes, I do agree with you on that one. Once you develop that conviction, now you have true value because you believe and you stand firm in your convictions, and now you're ready to go, and you can't be shaken as long as you hold deep into that. That also goes to back where I'm saying, like you gotta have that. It's the education first, knowing like your history, and when you have a generation that's not teaching that, that's where we have problems, and we have people that's confused and they're going in different directions.
Mm-hmm.
And then we lose out on the value system. Whatever happened to the family values?
Well,
Okay.
my question
Mhm.
with all the gentlemen up here, but first I'm going to have Queen say anything that she would like to say. But my
Oh yeah,
question
yeah.
for you gentlemen
Mhm.
is why do you see it so much easier than the women do? And Queen, you might be able to address it yourself.
Well, I was gonna talk about why like the past generation like stayed in jobs and stuff like that when that's not necessarily what they wanted to do. And I think it was sometimes for a person's value in themselves is not high enough to believe that they can do anything different.
Mhm.
So when you have that, if you find something that you're good at that is secure for you and your family, you can become complacent and fearful to, it's like being at a job. When you're at a job and you're doing well, looking for another job is kind of scary sometimes. Like you're like, oh, I got to put myself back out there. I got to, change my resume. Do I have the skills for that? Have I had enough education for that? Like, how do I word this? How do I sell myself? And sometimes people just get complacent and they go, wow, I've secured financial stability in this position for me and my family. And that to them sometimes is good enough because they've grown complacent, or that's what they were shown from previous generations. You get the good job, you get the city job, you get them city benefits, and you retire from that city job.
Mm-hmm.
You know, So I think a lot of it is also what you see, but also like even your own belief in your worth in yourself. Like someone who's, I've known people who are in the tech field and they're like, I can't compete with these kids from college. And they're losing their jobs to the new recent graduates, even though they've been at their job 20, 30 years, because they can pay them less, the new college grads. And so now here you have someone who's been in this field and hasn't kept up the education, and now they're stuck somewhere doing something different because they don't believe that they can go back to school or compete with these college grads.
Yeah.
So
I'm in agreement. Go ahead, gentlemen. We're going to say, ask what was the question again? I'm never going to do that. Okay, so let's answer this one. My question was, why do our black men seem to understand this more than our women do? But then Queen brought up a better way of asking the question, and I'll just put it for the whole community instead of just the men. Does the black community suffer from imposter syndrome more than other communities? And that's basically what Queen was describing, is that we've told ourselves or been told enough that we can't do a thing or we're not capable of doing a thing, that, or we don't have a right to a seat at the table because of whatever. Do we do that to ourselves more than other communities? If so, why?
You want me to answer this first? I
Go
would
ahead.
say, okay. I would say more of like a flamboyant type of mode where it's like we get caught up in trying to. I don't even like to use the word oppressor though, but I would say we strive so much to try to be a part of a certain group because we want that validation. We want to be accepted. We don't want to feel like we're any less or any lower than anybody else. But what happens is we fail to understand that in order to find value in ourselves, it is through our own people. It's building value for our people to lift each other up. But instead, we get into like these fancy cars. We try to go through live like the American dream, thinking that okay, well, if these people have power, we could have the same power too. And once we get up to a certain level, then these people will respect us. But not everybody's going to respect you, no matter how successful you are, and they're going to always show that to you. But the thing is, it's up to you to block all that, and keep it moving. Yes, people do suffer with imposter syndrome because you're trying to be something that you're not. Like, what's the point of trying? And you know what? And that's what really keeps tearing down the black community. Focus on trying to get a trade. Focus on trying to do something to create value to build like your own community up, as opposed to like stepping over someone else, being envy and jealous that this person is doing well better than you are. Learn from those people as opposed to trying to compete.
Mm.
I mean, yeah, you got your own horn. You want to toot it twice?
You know what? I normally don't toot my own horn, but fine, I'll do it.
There you go. Yeah, you deserve. Let's just do it this way to make it fair. Eddie,
Yeah.
and then Mr. Best.
Well, I just feel that the problem is it's us, but there's a difference. You got black folks and you got ignorant people. It's totally different people. But then it's like when we do come up, when we do think about the community, it's always somebody that's trying to tear. It's always one of ours that's trying to tear each other down. It's like crabs. We like crabs. We tear each other down. We bring each other down. And I'm still trying to figure out why that is. Because if we know, if we all got the branch, we all like communicate and see what's going on. We see that we have the non-black out there. The non-black is the only ones that's getting together and helping each other, taking over the businesses, taking over the houses and properties. They're coming together to do it. Now you see Chinatown. They have every Chinatown in every state and New York. Okay, I just have to throw that out there. Texas, everywhere. They own Chinatown because they come together, even though they don't like each other. But they come together because they know what's important. They know that their goal is to try to take over, and that's the mentality we should have. But the problem is we're so busy. We're so busy try to compete with each other. I don't think we should do that. I think we should help one another. But then we can't do that. Like far as these rappers, they can help so many people right now. But you know what they do? This is the problem with rappers. This, a lot of times when they do get killed, or when they get locked up and things like that, or they get beat up or jump in the hood, this is the problem. You can't go to another neighborhood and just pick up chicks and leave without bringing something to the table. You can't do that. You can't do that. You got all this money. You coming down there with a Lambo, your showboat and all that. You got these hungry lions out here that's trying to find some food that they got to put on the table for the rest of the month. You can't do that. Now, if you're gonna help the community, like do it the right way. Don't go out there and floss. And this is the problem. Be too busy going out and floss and compete with each other. It's been for too long. It's getting worse. Where do we start? Where do we start? I cannot, like I said before, I can't blame the older generation because they've been taught from they moms and they great grandmas and grandpas. That's all they know. But this new technology, the technology is getting huge. It's getting bigger. It's getting smarter. And they see, they can be creating robots in a minute, like iRobot. When that comes out, they're not even gonna need us anymore. They probably ain't gonna need no humans. But as far as what I know is that if we're gonna come together, we have to work on ourselves. Okay, we have to work on ourselves because remember, as a people, we were do our forefathers, they was beaten, they was raped, they was whipped every single day. That bloodline passed down to us. And the majority of the time when we wake up in the morning, but the majority of the time we're not in the move. You ever thought why we're not in the move every time? The majority of the time when we wake up in the morning, because of that bloodline. And sometimes we can't really communicate with a lot of people because maybe once in the lifetime we just don't feel like it. We don't feel like hanging out. We don't feel like kicking it. We don't feel like helping each other out. If we break that cycle and just help each other, I think we could be better. Now, far as the other community, I really feel, this is what I feel, man. I really feel that they should, because when I go to these communities, I see people when they sign these applications. I've seen all this already. They go in there, they say, hey, I'm not black, I'm not white, I'm not this, and I'm not that. I am a hallucination community. This is what I am. This is my nationality. They claim that. They don't even claim that they white or black. They claim that they are this community. So my problem is, why are you coming in our community? Why are you bringing that to the schools with children to try to get them involved in that? Now this to me, that's stepping over the line. I feel like that's the most biggest problem that we having right now. That's the biggest problem we having right now. So I just feel that we need to figure us out. You need to take care of yourself before you try to help anybody else. You need to help yourself first. You got to help yourself first. I can't help M3 or I can't help Best of the Wrong if I don't help myself first. I need to figure out myself. That's why this is where the OGs and they come in at. This is why they're good to be around, because they can tell you something. They can tell you what's the right way or the wrong way. They can tell you because they was there. They was born before us. And I feel like they can educate us on a lot of things that we don't know. They probably can help us with ourselves. Sometimes therapies don't work. Sometimes therapy, it'll work sometimes, but not all the time. Sometimes therapies, they don't really have all the answers, but the OGs out here, they do. They have the answers. And I feel like it's important to learn. We have to take steps, baby steps at a time. But it's getting worse.
I would
So
say, sorry,
yeah, go
and
ahead.
Mr. Best, I hadn't forgotten about you, but I would say that I have to disagree.
Which one?
Um, with the OG's perspective, and here's why I say that. Um, these OGs have known since the '80s that our boys were at fourth grade reading level and did nothing. Part of it was because some of them were at an even lower reading level and couldn't do anything. I understand that. But I say that to say if they weren't keeping up with the times then and they're not keeping up with the times now, what's the value other than taking their lives and looking at what they did get right and building on that and taking out the things that they did not do and destroying that negativity, not allowing it to linger and fester like a cancer, but cut it all the way out at its root, toss it out, and then allow the wound to heal and move forward.
Did you? Okay. I'm gonna respond to this. This one I'm gonna do. If has anybody been to Dubai or has anybody been to Dagestan?
Mm-mm.
No. Now even though they have a religion or things like that, but even without the religion, they still have they have their own laws and rules of certain things that you can't do. If you when you can't even go over there like the way how America is right now with these crazy colors, you can't bring that over there. And they won't allow that. Like they got their own laws. You can't even shake a woman's hand down there. You can't even look at another woman down that way unless she's single. But still, it's certain things that you can't do down there. They have all kind of different rules. Then they have rules to where like you have to come together with families. This is what you have to do, because it's the way how they grew up for years, that they passed down thousands and thousands of years on this type of laws and these rules. And they listen to these old timers. They listen to these old timers like, look, check this out. You're gonna go here, you're gonna do this, you're gonna do that. But you said as far as the OGs, it's a problem. Is
Because
that what you? Yeah.
their OGs did not come up under this system of oppression that ours did. When you're talking about Dubai in that area, you're also talking about the system of Islam, which was different
Yeah.
than capitalist society.
Yeah.
Islam and socialism have more in common than capitalism and Christianity do. Because Muslims had rules even for how you go to war. That's why a couple of days ago I wanted to use a show called The Rise of Ottoman to have this discussion about raising leaders, because that's the Muslim sultan who took over Constantinople. And he had to have a particular foresight in order to be able to do that, and someone had to guide him through that. And what were those people like, and what were their thoughts? And here we are calling ourselves kings and queens. No offense to some of the folks who that's not actually their last name, but then we're raising a bunch of pawns and lemmings. So it's time that we really have the conversation about what we're doing. And if we're buying into chasing the bag, then we're buying into whatever it is that's inside of that DAMN bag. And that includes the Alphabet Brigade. All of them. And when I say the Alphabet Brigade, I mean the ones that come with a rainbow, the ones that come with badges, the ones that come with the hair and the just, ooh, you like my sexiness. It's all the same ish. And until you know who you are truly as a person, if you take away all of the things and then you start to have these conversations, we're always going to end up in the same spot. And that's what I'm saying. We just have to do thank you, M3. We always have to do the best that we can for our children in this situation.
Yeah.
M3, go ahead and make your last statement.
I agree. I agree.
I just want to say shout outs to you.
Hopefully I didn't go overboard, y'all. Hopefully I didn't go too overboard.
No.
Okay.
No, over here they're used to that.
Oh.
Yeah. I just want to say shout outs to like the Knowledge and Relationships crew for representing. Shout outs to Mr. Best in the World. Shout outs to Queen 2K21 till next year. Shout outs to DJ Eddie. Shout out to you like JP as well. Thank you for like allowing us to like come to your platform. I know unfortunately I'm already running through time, but I'll definitely be like still like tuning in, man, before I go to bed.
Yeah.
But I just want to say these are definitely helpful and yet healing topics.
Thank you.
And I love solution based topics. We need more of that in the YouTube platforms.
I agree.
So,
Thank
yeah,
you.
thank you as well too.
Go ahead, M3.
Let him three.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Blue Sky.
All right,
Blue
y'all.
sky.
I'm saying them aviators, brother. I'm gonna have to get me a pair.
The Blue Sky.
Yeah, those is clean. I like those.
Right?
Thank you. Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, appreciate it, everyone. Y'all have a good night.
You too. Thank you so much.
Man, bro.
All right,
M3.
There it
Get
is.
those likes up for JP and get your minds right.
That's
You're not
right.
sleepy, but wake your asses up and like her stuff. All right,
Okay.
calm
Thank
out.
you.
Get them
Get the
lights
mics
up.
up. Yeah.
Yes.
Listen, before I forget, any content that I have in the past or any content that I've been on, wherever, use it, cut it, whatever. I just am not capable. I don't have the equipment or the workers to turn it around that quickly. But if you got it and you want to go ahead, I want the message out there, and I want people who I know will at least spread it and from the best perspective that they have on it and do that. We've got to start doing better for one another. So yeah, I'm nobody. But at some point, I swear that what I say is going to matter more than what's
You're
happening right here
somebody.
in this moment.
You were somebody to me.
Wait,
Aw,
thank you.
you are
You so
somebody to
sweet.
all of us, Auntie JP.
Aw.
Yeah. Okay.
Aw. Thank you so much. Yes, Rashawn, you can come up, my butterscotch bear, and share your
Uh-oh.
perspective.
Stop calling.
Why?
Did she say butterscotch?
I did. I did.
She
Okay,
sure
so
did.
I'm gonna give the story real quick while we wait for him to cam up. But this is how it went. My ex is a fairly light skinned gentleman, and then I met his cousin, and I was like, "Oh, you extra light." And so I had been calling my ex Caramel for a long time because I'm coffee, he caramel. And what else is after caramel? And then I was like, "Oh, butterscotch." So all extra light skinned folks have been butterscotch. Shout out to my butterscotch bear pulling up in the back. Hey, Rashawn.
Hey,
How's your spirit?
it's well. How are yours?
Great and buttery. Go ahead.
No, actually, I'm sorry. Mr. Best was before me. I don't think he got a chance.
Okay, go ahead. Mr. Best.
Oh yes. Rashawn, what's going on? What's going on?
What's up, Mr. Best? How you feeling, bro?
Chilling, brother. Chilling. Yeah, man. Okay, so do we have imposter culture? I don't think we have imposter culture. Imposter syndrome. I think we have keeping up the Joneses syndrome and pop culture syndrome. And what I mean by that is that we are always trying to keep up with the Joneses, and we always are trying to be always trying to keep up with pop culture. Or we set the pop culture trend, and then we just follow it. You know what I mean? That's what we're known for, and then we're trying to keep up with that. So, in that, I think other coaches have imposter syndrome where they'll see what we're doing, and then they'll try to act like they'll try to get our hairstyles or they'll try to dress like us, but they want nothing to do with the struggle. You know what I mean? They don't want to do the struggle. Don't involve them. Don't talk to them about it. They don't want to hear it. You know what I mean? And so I think that's what we suffer more of. We suffer more of people want to take from our culture and our community than us actually being imposters of that.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I hear what you're saying, and then Rashawn, I'm gonna let you again, but I will say this. I'm gonna share a couple of things starting in next year. I might send them to you guys early. But one of the things that I think that we're witnessing is as hip hop culture becomes marketable, they're separating the culture from us.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's that icky piece that we're also witnessing that we don't care for. But go ahead, Rashawn.
All
We're
right. So
allowing them to.
Yeah.
First of all, hey, I'm Mr. DJ Eddie,
Hey, how you
Mr.
doing, man?
Best, hello, hello,
All right.
and Mrs. Queen and JP.
Hello.
Thank you for letting me up. I just started writing this, like taking a couple notes. As soon as you asked that question, I was like, man, there's so many different parts to this. So I'm gonna try to go through it, and I can go back to any of the points, but just give me like 90 seconds.
You got it.
So, like, why does imposter syndrome hit black people? This starts from birth. As soon as you are born, your parents, their cousins, nieces, nephews, grandparents, people start judging the child. What is the skin tone? Is he light enough, dark enough, hair texture, good hair, all that kind of stuff. So that's right off the top before you even had a chance to think about anything. Then you're born into, like, a lot of times broken homes where you have abandonment issues, sometimes abuse, where you're never going to feel adequate. Then you go into a school system where the teachers and administrators don't look like you and have been proven to punish you and demonize you and even criminalize you for basic infractions. Then, on top of that, the historical teaching, where you're going to be reminded of generational trauma from slavery, where they typically start, not in Africa, but from slavery
Yeah.
through Reconstruction, through Jim Crow, redlining, through just regular old racism, to now the covert racism, all the way up to now, what is it, the Beckys or whatever they call them, the Karens, to the Karens. So even more to this day, we're not receiving the same fair treatment. So everything we see, the historical reminders are, you're not good enough. Then you go into the TV and the media where the portrayals are not representative of us or they're unhealthy representations. And then that's on top of the societal issues of already body image, where even white people in other cultures are facing that body image issue. But then we have on top of it the race issue, where if they do put someone up that's black, they might be European, or if they do, they look a certain way with certain features, light skin, even for if it's a dark skin role. Then we have in the workforce, healthcare, home ownership, where we have always been taking racial slights. We have to have enforcement arms to protect us in each of these industries, and even in healthcare, where they think our bodies are different. They think we have thicker skin and thicker blood to this day. Like, they're still doing studies on this because it still persists. Then you have the black businesses that are under resourced and undermanned, which perpetuates the inferiority narrative, but that's without a white person in sight. So you start to believe the myth that you're less than because every time you see yourself in someone else, they're failing or they're not living up to a standard that you see outside of your community. And then you've got the generational poverty and crime, which seems again divorced from the source of it all. So we accept the blame instead of the responsibility to change it because we don't see white hands at play. We just see ourselves. Like, it be your own people. But why does it be your own people? Because they don't have the resources they need. Then on top of the societal issues of capitalism, which we already know creates a system of like predatory mindsets. So we have also on top of that, you've got the jackpot of race and class. So it would take a generational work ethic to heal the generational wounds that come from all of this. And no one person has the faculties to overcome all of this as we exist today.
Wow. Woo! Man, that was powerful. Oh my gosh.
Yes, sir.
Great job, brother. For real.
Yes, sir. Preach.
And the mic is dropped.
But yeah, I was like, that was such a deep question because I'm like, man, there are so many things that take our mental processes and frame us negatively within us and from outside. And we don't have control over most of those mechanisms. And I'm like, man, and it starts so early. We reinforce those stereotypes. They reinforce those stereotypes. So it's a reinforcement system. It's like an echo chamber. You're not good enough. You're not good enough. And if you're receiving that kind of conditioning, how do you overcome that without outside help? And not from the people that are reinforcing it. Like, there has to be something that triggers you to look for something different.
There's got to be something or someone to trigger
Yeah.
you.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And that's hard. That's difficult.
Yes,
Because like y'all were talking about earlier, most people are surviving. You're barely hanging on.
Barely
True.
hanging on.
Word. by a thread, less than a thread sometimes.
Hmm. And if you look at all that from your birth to your retirement, you are looking at all kinds of steps and systems at every facet of your life where you're being diminished. There's not one institution or profession that addresses all of that in one person. Because even a psychologist would only teach you how to cope with it. They're not going to fix anything.
Yeah.
The police can protect you, but they're not going to fix it. No one industry or system can fix all of that.
It has to. Okay.
We are the industry or system that can fix all of that.
Yep.
We have to speak with the abundance of speech, of ability, whenever we speak about what it is that we have gone through throughout our history. All right, everything that you said, I made sure to turn my phone on and hear all of it, because I know this gentleman right here going to take all the notes. On one side is the timestamps, on the other side is I'm smoking the H out of JP as soon as this is over. So, having said that, what is the difference? There are a host of people like me who came up on what I call poor righteous teachers,
Hmm.
or that type of music, who were raised by people who learned the understanding of each one, teach one. Now we have access to a YouTube channel. But instead of asking us to go out into all of the multitude of spaces and share that knowledge, allow us to do what we're doing here in the uh, 5% nation of gods and earth, would be called a build. We all come together with someone who has more knowledge than us, true knowledge and understanding of self, not education. Got me?
Yes.
Hmm.
Okay. Someone who has knowledge of self will sit down and have a conversation with everybody here. You digest that information, you go home, you process it, and then you take it out to your community and you share the next one, and so on and so on and so on and so on, until you have created a generation of people who can then move this thing forward. And I can mention to you at least 10 people who are in their 30s, that were in their 20s when I met them, who will say to you that I did that for them. This is not me tooting my own horn, this is telling you how it is done. And we have to go with that mindset, build on the positive, destroy all negativity, that we are out here for our people first, while we believe that everybody may have a shared experience. Ours is unique to being a second world nation in a first world nation. We move different. We are raised inside of a country where most of the people don't look like us. So we've had a different experience from other people in the diaspora.
That's deep.
I wanted to say, I think it's very important to uh speak to the young generation. I think a lot of it is I work with this generation at one point, and they think they know it all. So they don't sit at the elders' feet and listen. They think that they're better. You ain't gonna tell me nothing. I ain't stupid. I don't want to end up like you. I don't want to do this, and but it's just no respect. When you look at
Hmm.
other cultures, they respect their grandmothers. They respect their great grandmothers. They respect their great great grandmothers, the traditions, the legacy, the respecting your parents. I'm not saying all of it's perfect, but it's a difference when you when you see, like, for instance, I was on a bus one day, and there's an older Asian lady standing up. This young Asian guy, maybe in high school, got up and gave her his seat. Then I look, and there was an older black woman standing up, and the young black kids were laughing and joking around. I got up and gave her my seat. You know, um, pushing, like, just no respect. I'm not saying all, because I've
Hmm.
been surprised too, where I've walked in a door, and this young guy, he ran back and opened up the door for me. And I was actually almost had a heart attack because I was so shocked. Young black boy But I think we have to teach. It's not so much as that we're not teaching. It's also it's got to be received, and I think it's important that it's great that you were able to, JP, impact those younger people because they were willing to sit and listen. When you have a conversation, it's like, oh man, Queen, you don't know what you're talking about, blah blah blah. And
No,
I think it's sometimes it's go ahead.
I would I would push back.
Oh, I do.
No, 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 no. I'm saying to you, I'm
Oh,
pushing back at you. I didn't
okay.
speak to a lot of these people. I didn't speak to in that way. There's one
Oh,
young gentleman that I went to culinary school with. I just happened to be his resident advisor. I saw a bunch of pills on his counter. I was like, "Hey, pimpin', what's going on? That don't seem right." And then I had a conversation with my instructor about it, and then I came back and checked on him one time. I would see him again a year later. He had changed his program. He had gone to rehab for the pill addiction, and now he was a sous chef at one of the major restaurants in Durham that was up and coming. Um, Another young lady who just happened to be in my ex-husband's unit and needed a place to stay, going through her own thing. She got to witness my family life firsthand. It made her decide to wait to have her children, but now she's one of the most amazing mothers out there, and she's married, and she's a sergeant first class in the United States Army. God damn it. You can't tell me that given the right encouragement, nourishment, and environment that folks can't glow up. We've got to stop saying that what you said is true, Rashawn. They don't witness it. But if they do witness it, if we all become that thing that they can witness in that way,
Mhm.
we can do better. And we have to start telling ourselves as grown brown folks, Estelle, I'm going to mute you. We have to start doing better about being positive minded and abundant about being positive in what we say to ourselves and to everybody else. Go ahead,
Absolutely.
Rashawn.
Oh no, I didn't have anything to say to
Okay.
counter that. I was just saying that's absolutely true. But again, just based on what I said, that it's almost. I understand what you're saying. Speak life, but it's hard to overcome the decades of training your mind to the negative.
Mhm.
It's
Mhm.
really hard to do. And then,
Yes.
like Queen said, it's true the person does have to be receptive, but it's also true that we have to be open to reaching out. So it's difficult to overcome the mental barriers on top of everything else we're facing. So it's why people shut down. It's why people give up hope because we don't have the tools necessary. And I'm not trying to be facetious. It's easy to say each one teach one. It's hard to do when you don't even feel like you're
Like,
one yourself.
Right. Right. I was saying
I think
earlier.
I think it's also too. It's just about um being willing. I mean, I worked with transitional age youth, so what, 18 to 24-year-olds, and being willing to. A lot of them want that. They have a fantasy of this that insta life. And I'm not
mhm.
saying they can't have it, but it doesn't happen for everyone, and you don't know what that insta life is costing. All you see is the insta life. You see what they put out there. You don't see what that person is going through. So it's also being willing to put in the work. You know,
Mhm.
um,
So,
on the West Coast out here, there are hundreds of free programs,
mhm,
and you can learn anything for free
mhm,
just because of your age. Anything for free. You can get free housing. You can get uh uh for 2 years. That's big. It's not cheap over here to live. You get handed stuff, but a
Mhm.
lot of times they don't. And I'm talking about the ones I've worked with. Some did really well and some didn't because they didn't want to put in the work. They wanted to, oh, I'm just gonna utilize this. If you're foster care, you get a certain amount of money and you get free college. But after a certain age, that money goes away. So utilize your free college and your free money and your free rent. while it's available to you. You ain't got to go to you can go to a trade school. You can do anything. Why wait? Why sit around and hang out on a corner with your homies who's not doing anything, who's not going to tell you anything differently, and then when you get of that age, that money's gone. The
Because that's
housing's
not how
gone.
we're giving. That's not how we're giving them the message. We're giving
Well,
them the message in bits
I'm
and
talking
pieces.
about the ones I've worked with. This is the pushback that I've been given, and I'm giving them. I'm showing them this message. I did this for a couple of years. Like I said, most of my caseload did really well, but there were ones who I felt like couldn't see past it. They couldn't hear it,
Right.
no matter what you put in front of them. And I think sometimes it's hard. Like, yeah, do the work. It's great when I see them, and sometimes I lived in the community that I worked in, so I see them and they be like, oh, hey, I'm doing this, and blah blah blah, I'm going to this school, I got me a car, got a school. Okay, great. And some of them I see and they're like, yeah, I didn't do too well, I wish I would. No, it's never too late. Here's another program. You're this age, boom, here's another program. There's always something that you can do. It's never too late. Don't ever say that to me. You messed up. Yes, you dropped the ball. We all do that. But it's never. I always tell them it's never too late to make a
Yes.
change. It's
Yes.
never too late. And I
Yes.
want to say
There's
to Eddie really quickly. I'm sorry.
Yes,
They
Queen.
do have they do have a robot that
Do
they
they
want, that has emotions and can get pregnant.
get
yep.
out of town? Get
They
Yes,
out
do.
of town for real?
Hmm.
I'm just letting you know. And then
What?
on the last thing I wanted to say is that I don't know if you guys know about the group called Dads on Duty in Louisiana
Hmm.
and what they did for that school. And I think if we had more men that, or more people that just said, here's a problem, let's get together, here's a solution. And that school went from no, all fights every day, all day, to no fights, to the point where the kids say when they see them, they already feel like their father is watching them. Like they straightened up because they had those fathers present, and it wasn't even their fathers. This is a group of Black men that wanted to make a difference at a school. So we can do better too.
Yeah.
We got to stop. We got to stop saying, like, yeah, I get pushed back all the time, but I don't care. I don't care what you think. Yeah, I don't know nothing, but guess what? I lived through this and I lived through that. Really? Yeah. So don't ever get it twisted. You know, Taking a picture on Instagram with your booty hanging out is nothing. Like, get over it. I mean, but your booty is not better than the next booty coming down the line. So, and in order to keep the followers, you got to do more than show your booty. So if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. But just know you better be ready for what comes on with that. And a
Yeah.
lot of y'all ain't ready for that.
Yeah.
So I give it to them straight. So I think we can't
Yeah.
grow weary in connecting with them as well.
You're right.
And
Go ahead, Eddie.
oh, I'm sorry. I just wanted to tell you, Miss JP, that these
Mhm.
youngsters, like I talk to these youngsters out here, but I talk to them privately. I cannot talk to them and tell them about like any programs or this is what this going on, this is that and third. I can't tell them that like when they're around a group of people because they will look at that as corny. They don't want it. They don't want to show their true selves around me because they're with the group of people. Because that group of people will feel like, man, that's corny. What are you talking about? Because the program to them, the word program sounds corny to them, so they don't want to do it. But I tell them, I pull them to the side one by one. When they by themselves, I would tell them, I wouldn't even bring up the program. I'd be like, hey man, you could go down here and do this and that and the third. Oh, for real? Yeah, man. Just let me know. Call me, hit me up, man. Let me know. Don't you ain't got to tell nobody else. But this is how I get them to come to the program because if I start talking to them in front of a group of people, they're not going to do it.
Mhm.
They are not going to do it. And you know what? And it's the thing to these new generations, the youngsters, they will make sure, like, oh man, you talk about this program, man, you better not be going down there, man. And when
That
you
was
go down
always.
there, they'll follow you. Be like, let me make sure this dude is not down here, man. On this corny ish, corny shit. That's how they do. They'll follow you, make sure you don't go down the right way.
Well, but isn't that just an agent of chaos? And isn't it true that in a world where alchemy matters, the untethered will always create that chaos?
Mm-hmm.
So we have to expect that. And I think, eh, are we giving enough understanding that the blows are going to come in life no matter what you do? You can look at Beyonce; she got cheated on. Look at um, I don't know, Russell, what's his name? Sierra out here shaking her tail every other day. You can't, people are people. We have no control over them, but we have control over our own behaviors.
Yeah,
And when we get hit, how we move. And I feel, I understand what you all are saying, and I feel it. We've all been dealing with the same age range of young adults, I believe. But
yeah, yeah,
I believe that it's a contingent of adults who have always been in the community that have been able to come together and prove themselves trustworthy, who can come forward in any emergency the community has, not just when it
yeah,
affects men, not just when it affects women, not just when it affects gays, right?
yeah,
But
yeah,
everybody. And then once we're all trustable, people will move together. My idea was to create a nonprofit mini village inside of communities, but that's a thing in the making. But I see your mic, Rashawn, so you go ahead.
Oh no, you can go ahead. Please keep going.
Well, go ahead, Eddie.
Oh. uh, no, that's just I just wanted to say that I'm just letting you know what I do out here. I do help the community. I do feed the homeless. When I get my check, half my check go to the homeless, and half my other check go to the family that I'm taking care of right now.
That's amazing.
Um, and because I was in that boat. I was homeless for like 3 to 4 years, and it's not a good feeling. It's terrible. So when I see them out there like that, it makes me want to make that move, and I've been doing it ever since. But as far as these youngsters, they're looking for someone that uh, uh, they're scared to ask for help. They're scared to ask for help, especially in front of their people. They're really scared to ask for help. But it's always got to be somebody that they look up to, because they see me out there all the time. A lot of them look up to me, so a lot of them will talk to me, but in private. So I feel like I've been doing good. I've done. Let me see. I would have to say over 65 people. I had changed and their life and sign them to the community that I got them sign up for. I'm not going to mention it. But I did a lot of good things out here, Miss JP. A lot.
That's
A
what it
lot, I like
takes.
a lot, and I don't want. I'm not the type of dude that's gonna talk. I'm action. I go out there and I do the work. When I go to work, when I'm off work, this is what I do. And I come home, I make my music, I make the beats, do my job, and I go right back out there again, do the same thing.
Yeah, I
Because
get it.
I feel like I just feel like our generation really need help. It's so many different directions of what's going on. There's so many problems.
Hmm.
And I just feel like somebody got to step in and do something.
I
Somebody.
agree. All right. So I want to close out with this question and then give you all the opportunity to say anything else. I would like for, if anybody out here is single, doesn't have little people, and wants to show up on Christmas Eve, New Year's Eve, I'll be streaming both of those nights. And also, I'll be doing a GI party. If you don't know what that is, you might know kitchen appreciation, or basically, I'm going to be detailing my home before the new year, getting rid of all of the icky spirits and energy and trash. And I'm inviting you along on the journey so that you can just know you need to do it too. If you cleanse your home and your spirit at the same time, you got a chance of bringing in 2022 in a new way. So what I want to ask you is, how has this last 2 years of pandemic change you as a person and or as a content creator? We'll start with Mr. Best in the World, Queen, DJ Eddie King, and then we gonna end it off with that Butterscotch Gang because he tried to come for me on a low with that imposter question. But go ahead.
Mm.
Rashawn gonna get you.
You a hater, JP. You a hater.
Oh man. Okay, so streaming has impacted me because early this year I had a very serious health issue, and it's been helping me to recover, it's been helping me to stay focused, it's been helping me to just basically do what I need to do to be my best, and I definitely appreciate my whole team. I appreciate Damo, I appreciate First Lady Tammy, I appreciate DJ Eddie and M3, a lot because they given me the creative space to do what I need to do, what I'm saying, and actually build great relationships with people like, you JP, Auntie JP, most definitely, with Queen, with Arshawn. Like I wouldn't have these relationships if it wasn't for them. And also as well, even within myself, I think it helps that with everything going on, that I just stay focused on what I need to do and on just being my best. You know what I'm saying? And so they can call me a best in the world for a reason.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what it means to me. It means a lot to me, and I really want to create content. I really want the content to be viewed. I want it to be accepted. I want it to be inspiring, and I wanted to just, symbolize love in its most purest and truest form, so that people could feel love, have a creative space, and come to our space. We want our space to be a hub, to be a home for everyone to be creative. We're not gonna be petty. We're not going at each other. We're not doing none of that stuff. We just want to create, help others create. We want all opinions, all thoughts, all genders, all religions, all walks of life are welcome in our home and our relationships, and it will always be that way. And we will always be a stapleton for that. And all of you are all welcome to come, as always. And I know JP's, Auntie JP also the same thing. Everybody's welcome to come. Now, just make sure you close the front door.
Yeah.
WT Funk, what's going on? You missed a lot, brother. We love you, man.
WT Funk, oh, what's up, man?
Man, you always late to the party, bruh.
You like, what I miss?
Oh wait, something about them Blurmans, boy. I tell you. Listen, let me just say this really quick, and then I wanna address it because I teased Rashawn. But I came up in a family where I sit in the middle as far as color is concerned. My younger sister is much very like kind of like my mother was. Here's a picture of my mother if that helps at all. Very light skinned. Okay. So, and then my older sister, the darkest berry on the tree, on the bush. So we just, for us, I told you, we came up in Memphis where petty is a thing. And so they taught us, this is who you are. People are going to come at you for these things, accept that this is a part of who you are, and then move on with your journey. Once you know who you are and they hit at you for it, it no longer matters. So we were raised with that, and I understand that. I was able to raise my sons with that, and I understand that. But here, I want to make it clear, I am not actually a colorist. As I've said, nor am I a racist. I understand full well what system of oppression is oppressing us all, but being able to pick at my butterscotch intern is the joy of my night each time that he shows up. So it just is what it is. And I thank you for letting me have that little tangent. Yeah, go ahead, DJ Eddie.
Oh, no, I'm gonna go ahead and pass it to Quick. I'm okay. Actually in the middle. I'm in the middle of making a beat. Trying to finish. I'm sorry, y'all.
No,
go ahead, Quick. I'm sorry. Come back to me. Come back to me, Quick.
What was the question? Sorry.
Let me get back to it. Hold on. Messing with this one. Here you go.
I'm sorry.
How has the last 2 years of pandemic impacted you as a person and/or content creator?
Well, I think it just made me grateful for the little things. The pandemic happened, but I still worked. So I never felt like my life wasn't normal, other than just not a lot of cars on the road. I could get to work a lot quicker. I still had to do what I had to do every other day. It didn't change because I work at a residential facility where clients live, so I had to show up. It just made me want to spend more time with family. Like little things like seeing their faces and not just FaceTime. So, but what we did was my family and I started a a messenger over Facebook, and so we were FaceTiming like sometimes 3 times a day. So I felt like it brought us closer, where I didn't feel like I was so far away from them. So it just made me appreciate family. I'm not really a content creator. I just do what I do, but it just made me want to push further with the program that I'm starting. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Um, what I want to say, JP, far as the pandemic, uh, I wasn't surprised. I just didn't know when it was gonna hit. My mother, she talked about the poison being spread in the 90s. She told me that this was going to happen. I just didn't know when. But ever since then, I was trained. I was prepared for this. I spent, uh, as far as me growing up, getting jobs after jobs, saving my money. I was prepared for this already. Like, about generators. I had bought uh, like cans and food. I've been prepared for this already. Now, as far as the 2 years, basically all I've been doing is just taking care of my family, really, and just helping those people out in the streets that need help. Like, it's really people out there that's dying, that really needs help, and that's all I've been doing for the past 2 years now. And far as the podcast that we do, like, it's changed me a lot. It gave me an opportunity to talk to new people, see new faces, to communicate with others. It's beautiful. And I'm also thankful that you let me come to your show, Miss JP. I'm happy to meet, I'm happy to meet you, and I'm happy to meet what's the guy, Deshaun. Is that your name? Is that his name, Deshaun? I'm
Rashawn.
Russia.
Rashawn. I'm sorry, Rashawn. I'm
Are you
happy to
fine?
meet you, big bro. You know, me, best in the world, Queen. When they with me, M3, when they with me, I feel like I'm excited. I get excited. This is the team. It's the team we rock with. It's the team I rock with when I leave. This planet. But I just hope and pray that somewhere down the line we can find something that can help us, help our generation grow better. Now, I heard I talked to my neighbor, and she said that the only way for our community to be saved is if we create another generation. Now, I don't know if you agree with that, Miss JP, but maybe you do, maybe you don't. I don't know. Uh, they feel like if we create another generation, start over, maybe the community would be a lot more better. But I know I'm going to do is just continue to do what I need to do to help people, and continue to stay strong. And for far as Mr. Best in the world, I pray for you, man. Say you my dog. I pray for you every single day. You too, Queen. I pray for the team. I pray for you too, Miss JP. I pray that this crazy weather don't jump on us and we have been in the hospital. I pray that won't happen. Um, and
Rashawn will let you know. I'll be calling Butterscotch in the background talking about, I need you. I
See,
need you to forget everything I said for the last month and tell the internet to start watching my videos double time because I won't be back for a while. Yes. We
right,
always beat up the ones who love us the most. That's just the nature of the beat.
right. Oh man, yeah, that's all I wanted to say there. That's all. That's my time on that one.
Thank you.
it be your own people.
Right.
No, as president of the Babyface Butterscotch Brothers, I want to say I accept, your statement that you're not a racist or a colorist. So on behalf of the Ohio chapter, you are absolved of all crimes and sins and all of that good stuff. So you're good with me. So as far as the pandemic, man, it has been pretty good for me. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it gave me a lot of time to build with my family. Like, my nephew, he turned 18 right before the pandemic. So him being out in the workforce, I've been able to help him a lot. We get to talk a lot, so I've still got to play a major role in his life. Where I probably wouldn't have, if he was out on his own during the like workforce doing you know, you go to work, come back with the pandemic, working from home, I get to see him a lot more. So I mean, oh no, you did not put that there. Babyface, Butterscotch Brother, CEO, and player president Rashawn Day. See, it be your old people. Okay. But what I was saying, dang, what was I saying? Okay. Anyway, the pandemic was pretty good. That second reason why it was good for me, it was like you heard that term Schadenfreude, where you like revel in the misery of others. When I saw white people, forgive me if there's any white people listening, when I saw them act a fool, when they had some of the most basic restrictions put on them, like I mean, like level point 0.5 restrictions, where we've had some of the most severe limitations put on us, and they acted a complete monkey. I felt so relieved. I was like, you know what? We're not crazy. No matter how much they tell us we're crazy for the way we behave in response to these triggering traumas, the way they reacted over some of these such small, minor restrictions or requests, I was like, okay, we're not crazy. I can let that just drop out of my mind. And as a content creator, I'm not one, but as a content viewer, I was able to find the manosphere or whatever you want to call it, which led me down the rabbit hole to finding people like you, JP, and people like Knowledge and Relationships Crew, you know, the team that rolls deep every night, all night to the early morning.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
So I mean, it's been really good for me. I can't think of anything negative that came out of it. I mean, other than, you know, the shared trauma of all the people that lost. I mean, because I think we all know at least one family that lost somebody during this time. Like by extension, like 2 degrees of separation. We know somebody that knew somebody, if nothing else. So other than that shared loss, personally, I haven't had any of those losses myself. So pandemic's been good for me on both fronts, and I pass it.
I appreciate you. What the funk is this? Thank you so much for coming up. The question on board at the moment is how has the last 2 years of pandemic impacted you as a person or a content creator? Do you have a perspective to share, sir?
Yeah, sure. Let me see if I can. I want to make sure I say it quickly though, because that's more fun. All right. Yes. Since the pandemic, it's felt like a completely different world, a completely different timeline. I would say starting from the New Year's of January 2020. Ever since then, my life has kind of been a 180, and finding this space has been good. It really has because the things I was going through when it first happened was just like there was nowhere else. There was nowhere to go. There was no place to kind of like put my thoughts, and it's been very refreshing and also discouraging to see how we have been since the pandemic and now. I wanted to just kind of say with Rashawn and I think a few others who I've spoken to, consuming this space has kind of been burning us out a bit. And I think that we've all, on this panel, we've dived into this rabbit hole enough in this last year. And now that it's almost 2022, it's time to connect the dots and point out the positive, but we have to leave out the negative in this space. There was a panel yesterday that was just complete chaos and just cursing. But it's also typical the way that we speak to each other when we're angry. And there's a lot of spaces that are capitalizing on that. And I think that I've said before, we have to figure out to find the ones that aren't being heard, the ones who are quiet, and build them up. And we have to leave the others behind. It's the ones that are the chaos ones that are draining, and it's the ones that are the chaos ones that are hard to consume. But I think we've consumed enough of them and learned the gems that we need to get from them and take it and now ignore them. And I love that you went down the rabbit hole. A lot of people kind of get into this space and they just kind of get the surface of it and kind of either judge it for what it is, like, oh, well, that's what it is. For example, there's no shot. Rico. Rico's a very articulate and wise man, but he's only kind of seeing the surface level of this space, and everyone's making their judgments of what this space is and what the space could be off that surface level. And if you dive deeper, you can really maybe see how this space can be a absolute security for many of us. It can be an absolute safe space for many of us. It can also be an absolute place of solutions and ways to figure out how to deal with situations you're having in your life. For us, I'm just waking up. I hope that made sense, and I'm landing there.
I think that I think it made good sense. Uh, I'm also being extra petty with Rashawn in the chat, so forgive me, because he in here. Listen, I let me be honest and clear here. Um,
Honest and
what the
clear.
folks
Let's get it. Okay.
Yeah, I know, right? Because it feels like, because sometimes it feels like all of my honesty ain't clear and all my clarity ain't honest. Well, the way people be acting around these here parts.
That was deep.
Thank you. Uh, at the end of the day, we are all we got. Full stop. Ain't nobody coming to save black folks. Ain't nobody coming to make no more of us. Ain't no nothing. We're going to have to figure out how to make it work with one another. What I figured out, and I'm ahead of the game. And in so many aspects of my life, I say that I didn't grow up in the American educational system, so I learned about America and capitalism from a different perspective. I became disabled in 2015 and had to lie flat since 2017. Pandemic happened in 2020, so I'm 3 years ahead of people in seeing what's happening in these spaces and the fight and the fuss and the yell that is happening. And there is a groundswell of people who are saying, yeah, no, there need to be more people who look like me, who have experienced the life that I've experienced. More men who are saying, I have to come into this world with the face that I got, the body that I got, and make it work for me. While a bunch of women are saying, oh, no, I get to buy all the things off the market. Yes, there are some men who are doing the opposite or the same thing as women, but that's not prevalent. What is prevalent is a lot of hurtness running around masking itself as humanness. And I think that we need to start to make that distinction. You are human in that you have feelings, but we're moving in our hurtness in that our feelings are at skin surface. As someone who lives with a chronic pain illness, that I get pain from bone to skin. There's layers to this thing, and black folks' pain is way too close to their skin when it should be at the bone or non-existent. And at this point in our life, we've got to do it ourselves. No one else is going to do that for us. That's my
I,
perspective on it.
I love that comment. And before we forget, Mr. DJ Eddie Kane, I don't know if you have an Instagram, but
Yeah, I
I
do.
would love to have a conversation with you. That's something that I'm working on, and
Yeah.
I'll leave it at that. But
Okay.
if you do have an Instagram, definitely send it to me or just put it in the chat, and I'll be happy
Yeah,
to
I'm gonna
reach
put it
out
in
to
the
you.
chat right now. Yeah, I'll put it in the
Yeah,
chat.
please do.
Okay.
And Rashawn, you listen, y'all. Be looking for them. Them little comments that's flying around here. See if they don't come up in somebody somewhere,
Just
some
putting it
language. I
right now.
ask y'all again. Do not let the world Shahrazad Ali me. I don't need a whole lot of flowers. I'll let some man walk around here and share all of the wisdom that I put out today, 20 years from now, and take credit for it and pours in our future.
Okay, it's in the chat. Sorry.
So
Thank you.
in the private chat or the front chat?
The front chat.
Oh,
Sorry.
put it in the okay. Yeah, you have to put it in the private chat.
Sorry
So
about
that
that.
only because even in YouTube, I think that only moderators can put it in the main chat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Hey, Darshan, so glad to see you. How's your spirit? Dashar McAway was, I think, like one of my second or third people to join my live stream way back when. I was blessed to come on to my live streams with at least one person in my chat from the very first day that I started.
Does
Go
Deshaun
ahead.
have a channel? He does, doesn't he?
Darshan? Yeah. He's got
Is
a
it under his
podcast
name?
channel. Yes.
Okay, I'll also sub to that.
And then he's also on YouTube. And Darshan, I don't know if you're on Instagram. I will drop the link, but we're getting ready to get out of here. I've been on for 3 hours.
No, this is a great
And
one. Yeah.
Thank you very much. As per the request of the Knowledge and Relationships crew, it won't be happening on a regular basis right now, but I do plan on going live daily on
It's in
some
a
platform. Thank you, DJ Eddie. I got it. I won't
okay.
always be on just it won't always be on YouTube, but like I said, you can't just spread the message in one area. But thanks to Lewis from Third Coast Royalty, he showed me how to use Twitter to be able to use their spaces and talk over there. So there'll be some kind of like Clubhouse. And then on Instagram, I'm going to be moving the theme song segments to over there, or in Discord, so that I won't get copyright claims, because I'm still not capable of turning these videos around fast enough. They won't be monetized to get monetized. Also, people who clip them have to clip out a large portion of what it is that what I do. So, making those adjustments, I appreciate you all for the suggestions, and I do take them into consideration. Um, but yeah, really just thank you all for spending the time with me. Make sure that you check each other out. I appreciate everybody. Big Rig Slaps is over on Instagram as well. He's got some great content over there with big cars. Third Coast Royalty is in the southeast of the country, and he's just a southern boy with a whole lot of fantastic charm. He tickled me earlier with the endocannabinoid conversation. So that's how we move. That's the other piece, you guys, to it. Stop looking for the folks that are here. And then Mike Reed is in the building. Oh my gosh. I do not have a Patreon account. Rashawn, if you could put the link to the Buy Me a Coffee, I would appreciate it. I do have a Buy Me a Coffee where you can go and show support. You can also become a member of the Buy Me a Coffee membership that gets you access to my extra video content and written stuff, along with some daily musings from time to time. But anyway, I wasn't trying to sell myself there. I just want you all to sell one another and know where to go and find each other. So anyway, thank you guys so much for coming up. I can't do the theme songs tonight because of having some type of storage glitch. I'm going to work on that. But I appreciate you guys so much. Really and truly, one of the things that I missed, I didn't have to be able to go longer streams or do more, is someone else to work off of when I need to step back, because like I said, it's me. I'm a tiny disabled content creator. And so I can do a longer stream and be more detailed, but I do need someone who can help with some of the extras. You guys are here now. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying it took time for my tribe to understand my vibe. And now y'all are here, and we're going to do some big things in 2022. So I appreciate you. Everybody, one more time, shout out your channel, anything that I might have missed, and we will let the Butterscotch Gang close it out. Go ahead, y'all.
Okay. Okay, let me see. Queen, why don't you start? Then WT Funk, Eddie, and then I'll go, and then I'll Sean.
Queen Forever 2K21. You can follow me on Instagram, see me on Knowledge and Relationships platform, and throughout the streams in this YouTube world.
What the funk?
Fell asleep again.
No, you knocked out.
Well, listen, you can find me on Instagram, which is dj.eddie.king. You can also find me on YouTube, which is DJ Eddie King. You can find me on Facebook, which is Eddie F. King. And thank you, JP, for bringing me to your show. Thank you so much. This has been a great conversation. What y'all laughing at?
What the funk snoring in the background?
Oh man, he's sleeping, man.
Wait, he was really snoring?
No, just kidding.
Oh,
wait, look, he's back. He's back to defend himself. Come on. Look at you.
No, I'm not back to defend myself. I was just back to do the final goodbyes. What did I?
Oh, I'm sorry.
miss?
Oh,
I was making sure I
hear
subbed to
you.
everybody.
Oh, yeah, no, we couldn't hear you while you were busy subbing, and we thought you had dozed off.
No. I was making sure I sub before I forget. Like I said, I'm still in drowsy mode, so I subscribed to Jashawn, Big Rig Slaps, and made sure that I was connected to DJ Eddie King.
Awesome. And then Queen, you
yes,
said
sir.
you were on Instagram. Rashawn, you will help to make sure that we get them
Yes,
into
I'm on
the
Instagram.
okay, yeah. And then Rashawn, thank you so much. If you don't mind helping to get them in the timestamps. I try not to ask for my intern for very much, but I pick at him all the time. So
Now you said get what
My
into the
interns.
timestamps?
That's a perfect title.
everybody's
The
information.
socials. Gotcha.
Yeah, thank you.
Is it
And
my
then go ahead,
turn?
you can
What
close it
what
out.
the
Yes,
funk?
you can. Your turn. Oh, I'm
Funk.
sorry. What the funk and then you. I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm just saying goodbye. Like I said, I think we all have the right ideas in our heads. It's just now we need to get them out in our own, with our own circle of people and kind of brainstorm and start building. You guys are amazing. Just because we're starting small doesn't mean that we're starting loud and starting strong. So let's start and let's be outside the box and let's connect these conversations globally. That's it. And look at why do people keep forgetting I have a channel? Why do they keep thinking I have the name What the Funk Is This? And they know. Anyway, check out my channel and I'll be starting something very soon. Jesus.
That butterscotch rage, I tell you. Go ahead,
Yeah.
Rashawn.
Beige rage. Beige rage. Hey,
That was
first
very
of all,
calm rage. Y'all better quit. Yeah, anyway.
I want to thank everybody. Thank you, JP, for having me up. Thank you, Knowledge and Relationships, for being here. It's a pleasure talking with y'all. What the funk is, it's good to always see you come in at the very last minute to say absolutely nothing. I want to tell everybody in the crowd, if you can, please
Oh, wow.
send Cash App the $ purpcorn so JP can move to the East Coast so that we're not here at 4 in the morning, my time. That's about it for me. I just want to let y'all know that I appreciate all y'all, the
The
butterscotch
shade.
babyface boys. We're in the building.
Oh, damn.
I'm done.
This is
Jeez.
God
Wow.
damn.
Goodness.
I had to
You
pass the
know,
petty.
Sean, you already know, brother. That's all
That's
I'm
the last one. Wait,
saying.
hold on. That's the last new one for tonight, and then I'm
Oh
done
God.
with making new banners. But this one right here is staying forever. Matter of
Wow.
fact, it may be our new weekend smoke session. Yeah, on Sunday, tomorrow, I'm going
Oh.
live later on tonight. Later at a decent
I'll
time.
be there.
At a decent time, and we're gonna pass the petty plate. Okay,
All
Rashawn, it's
right.
your job to make sure that we get offerings. Everybody up here, we
Oh my
passing the
gosh.
petty plate, and we gonna have some talk about the petty in these YouTube streets.
Oh
Thank you
God.
all so much for showing up and showing love. Darshawn McAway, I will see you on Twitter, Instagram. Big Rig Slaps, you know I'm rocking with you. Thank you guys so much for showing up and showing love way into the late night hours. I
Shit.
knew I was doing the right thing by hitting y'all up at night on the weekends. Keep your spirit up, and I promise you that I will see you guys in the streams.
Shit.
Peace and blessings.
Peace and